W. Smith Show, News Talk 760, WJR. Here's special guest host, Sean Baligian.
Well, good morning. A pleasure to be sitting in Paul's seat this morning. I am Sean Baligian. Paul will be back. I want to make sure I get this correctly, Dave Rieger. Paul will be back tomorrow, correct?
No, Paul will be back on Monday.
He'll be back Monday. Okay. Yeah, we were just talking about that off the air. But you know how it is. It's 5:37 in the morning. Come on now. You know, did you expect information like that to stick with me? Anyway, so glad that you could join us this morning. So glad that the team, as Paul likes to say, is here this morning as well. We say good morning to Dana Clark. Hello, Dana.
Hi, Sean. Welcome to the morning. Happy Thursday Eve.
Happy Thursday Eve.
I mean, Friday Eve.
Friday Eve. Yes.
Friday Eve.
Dick Hafner, as always, giving you the best news in town. Good morning, Dick.
Good morning, Sean. Good to see you.
Nice to see you as well, my friend. Dave Kingpin Rieger in the house. What's up, Mr. Rieger?
Good morning, Sean. How are you?
Excellent. And, of course, Danielle Mason behind the scenes as well. It'd be nice to see her lovely face this morning, but we get to hear her lovely voice as well. Good morning, Danielle.
Morning.
A week away from Thanksgiving, guys. It's unbelievable. I was talking to my daughter about this last night. My daughter is somebody, she loves Thanksgiving. That's always been her thing. You know, you would think the kids, whether it be Christmas, whether it be Easter, with, you know, getting the basket and the candy and all that, Thanksgiving's always been her thing. And as a 15-year-old, she's a little disappointed not everybody can come over. But, you know, we're going to make the best of it. I know that's something we're going to talk about later on in the show. How's it going to change for you guys this year? Have you made all the readjustment plans?
Unfortunately, I probably make the same amount of food, although there will be less people. Yes, we've made a little bit of adjustments, a few less people, but I think like your daughter, it's like the kickoff to the holiday season, you know, besides Halloween, where the first time you really get together normally and see everybody, people you haven't seen in the past few months. And so it's going to be weird to even know that you can't have the people come over, because usually, you know, you have an open house, whoever can stop by and have some food and a drink and hang out for a bit. But now it's like you can't even get in touch with people and say, are you still stopping over, or we'll be there later? So it's going to be kind of weird. But yes, still cooking food, Sean. Got to have the food because we do still have a lot to be thankful for. So.
Amen to that. Dick, how's it changing for you?
Not much. We usually just have a small get-together, and it'll be smaller this time around. We're not going to be bringing in the hordes of family this time. That's what we usually do. But Dana, if you're going to be making the same amount of food, or hopefully even more, maybe you can do takeout, and I will come over and do the taking out.
Okay, that's a deal.
I think it's a great
I got
idea.
you, Dick.
Dave Rieger, how about you? Things changing big time?
Not really. I'm going to be here. Obviously, Lions are playing, so most of my day will be spent here at the radio station.
I'll be working that morning.
Yeah, that's been a tradition of my life for 25 years now. Whether it be radio, whether it be television, the family just accepts I'm not going to be home till about 6 o'clock. That's just the way it is, and. As you were saying, Dana, much, much smaller this year for us as well. Same amount of food, though. I've got that Amish turkey ordered.
There's the next day.
That Amish turkey's going to be made. All right, we'll continue the conversation. But first, why don't we take a look at 542 at traffic and weather with Dana. Dana.
This report is sponsored by SafeExcavator.com. Call or click 811 before you dig. There's a lot of stuff underground you can't see, and every few minutes somebody digs into a line, pipe, cable, or wire. Don't be that person. Call or click 811 before you dig and visit SafeExcavator.com.
Traffic First sponsored by Gordon Chevrolet. Gordon Chevrolet has Black Friday deals all month long. Cyber Cash, a lease pull-ahead program with up to $1,500 in loyalty bonus cash. Leases starting under $200 a month. Extended hours Black Friday, Saturday and Monday. Ford Road just west of Merriman in Garden City. GordonChevrolet.com. Gordon Chevrolet, find new roads. Sean, starting off with a closure this morning. This is downriver in Lincoln Park, 75 northbound, closed between Southfield Road and Outer Drive. Traffic can exit Dix Highway northbound to Outer Drive eastbound. That will get you back to 75. Seeing those brake lights from at least Dix Highway. 7-minute backup right now. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Ryba's Fudge Shop. Make Ryba's your one-stop shop for all your business and corporate gifts. Appreciate, thank, and impress your clients, employees, colleagues, vendors, and loved ones with a gift box of creamy, delicious Mackinac Island fudge. Visit ryba.com to complete your shopping today.
A mild weather quickly coming back now, up close to 60 by tomorrow afternoon, mid-60s by Friday. Sunshine with a few clouds today, 45. Some clouds tonight, milder, 37. Outlying areas a little chillier. And a south breeze kicks up tomorrow. Clouds, sunshine close to 60 and mid-60s on Friday. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stitchicon. News Talk 760 WJR.
Well, I will take mid-60s all day today and tomorrow. I don't know about you guys. Of course, it's the time of the morning that we say good morning to Rush Limbaugh.
Well, today we have distressing news from south of the border. Mexican President Andrés Manuel López Obrador is asking for compassion and understanding. He had to make a very tough decision because of heavy rains. Now, this grueling decision was where to open the floodgates. If he opened them in one direction, the city of Villahermosa would be inundated. If he opened them in another direction, indigenous people, poverty-stricken indigenous Mexicans would be flooded. Now, this should have been an easy choice for El Presidente Obrador. He campaigned with the slogan, "The poor come first." But liberal politicians everywhere have one thing in common: slogans come easy and talk is cheap. Therefore, President Andrés Manuel López Obrador opened the floodgates on the poor. The poverty-stricken indigenous people were flooded, so the rich city dwellers in Villahermosa would be spared. President Obrador says that opening the floodgates on the poor indigenous people hurt him a lot, but that it had to be done. Now, we don't know how many indigenous people lost the few possessions that they had. We don't know if any lives were lost because the drive-by media reports don't bother to mention what happened to the poor indigenous people of Mexico because their lives apparently don't matter. But we do know that President Obrador is hurting, and we're supposed to feel compassion and sorrow for him.
Rush Limbaugh, noon to 3, today, right here on WJR. Every day we face new changes and challenges. Sometimes it's hard to just keep.
Well, Patrick says that leftovers are the best things about Thanksgiving.
Amen.
Totally.
Oh.
The turkey is meant for leftovers.
Oh. You know, I have, Patrick, to your point, I have a habit that my children have laughed at for years. I take the leftovers. When I say the leftovers, I mean the leftovers. I put them in a pan. I pour gravy in the pan, and I put it on a piece of bread the next day. Oh,
totally.
One of my favorite meals of the year. I'm serious. It's outstanding.
Yes. Sure enough. 1 week away. It's hard to believe.
That's a crazy thing about this year. I don't know if you guys have the same feeling. As much as it's dragged, it is also flown by. I simultaneously, both things are true for me.
It's kind of a weird space.
Yeah.
Like you want it to go, in a way, I wanted the year to finish and hopefully next year. But then at the same time, it's like I don't want it to snow. I don't want it to.
Right.
I'm not ready to buy Christmas presents. It's like, can we skip Christmas? Not the good feelings part, just the buying stuff. It's like,
totally.
Really? Do we need anything else? Even the kids, it's like they don't even have to wait for Christmas to get what they want. They're spoiled all the time. Why are we doing this?
Yep.
We should make a card and give it to each other. And Call it a day.
Lots of hugs and watch Christmas shows.
Yeah. Yeah. And keep your 6 feet, people.
Yes.
Speaking of that, they've been showing Christmas shows super early.
Mm-hmm.
All the Christmas stuff. I think they're just pushing it to try to get us in the holiday spirit, I guess.
Yeah.
But
well, we're bummed out. I was going to bring this up. We have an annual trip to Frankenmuth, like the first week of December, that got blown out. And that goes back to when they were little kids. I convinced my kids that Santa Claus was born in Frankenmuth. You know, the whole Bronner's thing and everything. So that was always our fun thing to do. And hopefully after December 8th. I have my doubts, but hopefully after December 8th.
Oh, you think it's going to reopen?
No. No.
Wink, wink.
Yeah, that's right. I keep that hope alive for them, though. I go, well, let's hope after December 8th. Don't think it's going to happen.
No, me either.
It's going to happen
because another holiday is coming up. So what is it going to be? Okay, don't get together, have a small Thanksgiving, but Christmas.
Yeah,
everybody can come.
Yeah, right.
I don't know. Oh well.
And then you have New Year's right after that. So.
Right. Yeah, that's going to be a weird thing.
Oh.
New Year's.
We haven't gone out in years, though. It's been wonderful.
I know. Right.
My wife
yeah,
and
this
I
is like
stand...
the first New Year's Eve. I'm not looking for. I'm glad to not have to go. We don't go out. We usually go over to like friend's house.
Sure.
And I'm like, no, not this year.
Yeah.
Just stay home.
We gonna watch the ball drop by yourself.
Oh, I don't make it to midnight anymore.
Right.
No.
Right. Take a nap and wake back up.
Yeah, it's been a few years now. Oh, I'll be up at 11 o'clock. I'm out like a light.
After a couple of drinks, it's all, it's all over.
And it's probably going to be weird downtown also during Thanksgiving with the parade being virtual.
Nobody there.
With, they usually have the turkey trot race that goes on. And that's not going to probably happen, and so it's going to be just the whole day is just going to be very weird. And Sean, you're usually down at Ford Field, braving whatever weather we might have on Thanksgiving Day for your broadcast, and same thing. It's just not going to be. It's going to be different.
For years, it was the same thing with TV. You know, we would do the show from Chelly's, and we were on like the back deck. Regardless of what the weather was, we were there. So, you know what? It hasn't changed that much for me though, because when I was 19, I just started going to games with my friends on Thanksgiving. That was always our thing, you know, and I miss it.
So what do we think? Will the Lions get another 2 in a row?
It's looking good, but you know, with this team, you never know.
You never know who's going to show up.
Right? That's exactly it.
Like Forrest Gump, you never know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully they get 2 in a row. That will be exciting.
Oh, heck yeah. And then they've got a favorable matchup on Thanksgiving too. So, you know, 3 in a row? Are you kidding me? It'd be unbelievable. Yes. When's our next break, Mr. Rieger?
We're coming back from this break in a second here.
Okay.
And then Danielle
5:56. All right.
Yeah, Danielle will put it in the private message for you.
Okay. Good morning to everybody out there as well. Patrick said last time they made it, Dick Clark was still hosting the show. Turkey Trot is done all individually. We signed up and can do it anytime through the week. Oh, good.
Oh, so that's totally virtual now too, obviously.
I need to trot myself today. I need the turkey trot today. It's going to be nice. It's going to be
across
windy,
the state on Food First Michigan with Dr. Phil Knight and Jerry Brisson. Sunday nights at 9 on WJR, today. Presented by Farm Bureau Insurance
There's
of Michigan
a wind
and the Food
advisory in
Bank
effect
Council
from 10 to 5.
You're hearing The Paul W. Smith Show. News Talk 760 WJR. Here's special guest host, Sean Baligian.
You know, I knew it was bad in our fair state, but I didn't know it was as bad as the numbers suggested when news came out yesterday afternoon that Michigan is number 5 in the nation for COVID-19 death and number 6 for cases, ICU patients and everything. And you know what's interesting about that? I don't know if you guys feel the same way that I do. And I'm not trying to be PC or say come together or anything like that. It doesn't surprise me. This is a virus. This was going to come back and we have to deal with it. And to me, I'm so tired of everybody pointing the finger at each other and blaming this person or blaming that person. You know what? As much as I can't stand hearing the quote, "We're all in this together." I mean, that was so crammed down our throat, if you remember, back in March and April. In November, I feel that way. We are all in this together. This thing isn't going anywhere until we get the vaccine, and we all better accept it.
True, I agree. We have to hang in there.
Yeah, isn't that what we're told with really any kind of virus, right? You know, well, you can treat the cold, you have to manage the virus and everything. And it's, you know, I've heard so many people, you know, oh, it's this person's fault or that person. No, it's a virus. You know, we can do everything we can. We can take precautions. And, you know, how many people do you know, whether they be public figure or I can tell you literally my most cautious friend is one of my only friends to catch it. And he has been dumbfounded. He's like, I did everything. You know, and it's like, dude, don't beat yourself up. I'm not going to shame you. It's a virus. We just all have to accept that.
Well, it has become, of course, a political item. I mean,
Sure.
that was the treating and handling the virus was the number one issue, I think, the overriding issue for Joe Biden in his election victory. So when you get into the world of politics, blame is always on the top of the pile.
Yeah, there no fingers being pointed at Governor Whitmer in regard to this. You may disagree with the way that she's handled things, but I think it's crazy to point the finger at her or anybody else for what a virus is doing. You know, the virus doesn't care if you hide for a few weeks. The virus doesn't care if you're wearing a mask. If the virus is going to get you, the virus is going to get you. And so that's one thing I you know, when you hear the term COVID fatigue, I'm absolutely fatigued of people blaming the finger or pointing the finger and playing the blame game. It's a virus. So I guess we shouldn't be surprised with what a virus chooses to do or not to do. That's where we're at right now. As always, we've got the roundtable going this morning. We'll check in with Dana and Dick and Dave as well after 6 o'clock. We've got so much to do this morning.
There's something unique about this particular roundtable, though, with all four of us. There's something unique here.
I think I know what it is.
Okay. What is it?
We all are wearing hats.
Well, that's the second unique thing.
Oh, there's another.
We're all sports fans.
Yes.
And the NBA draft occurred. And I thought what the Pistons did was very interesting. Maybe we can chat about that a little bit after the 6 o'clock news.
That is one of those things we are going to do. We are also going to check in with Detroit News beat writer Rod Beard later on the show. But Dick, we'll talk about it with you this morning as well. After we take a look at news, and before the news, traffic and weather with Dana.
This report is sponsored by SafeExcavator.com. Call or click 811 before you dig. There's a lot of stuff underground you can't see, and every few minutes somebody digs into a line, pipe, cable, or wire. Don't be that person. Call or click 811 before you dig and visit SafeExcavator.com.
Traffic First also sponsored by Guernsey Farms Dairy. Enjoy family and football all day. Avoid the stress of cooking on Thanksgiving. Get a full traditional Thanksgiving meal this year from Guernsey Farms Dairy's restaurant in Northville. Place your carry-out order today. Pick up on November 25th. Minimum order is 5 people. It's only $15 a person. To order, visit GuernseyFarmsDairy.com. 75 northbound closed between Southfield Road and Outer Drive. A multi-vehicle crash there involving a semi that's on its side. Traffic backed up from at least Dix Highway. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by McLaren Health Plan. McLaren Health Plan is helping families stay healthy with coverage for virtual doctor visits, flu shots, and access to over 140 hospitals in Michigan. McLaren Health Plan, the right plan for right now. Learn more at mclarenhealthplan.org. Well, we get a warm up over the next couple of days. Hopefully you get out and enjoy the sunshine today. Sun clouds mixed, a high of 60. We do have a wind advisory in effect. That is from 10 a.m. this morning to 5 p.m. But we will definitely take the little bit of a warm up that we're going to get. And then on Friday, we get the same, partly cloudy skies and a high of 62. So right now, clear skies, 38 degrees. I'm Dana Clark, WJR News with Dick Hafner in 2 minutes.
Hi, I'm Connie Holzer. I wanted to take the time to thank you for supporting during these difficult times. Everyone at our dealership is extremely appreciative of your loyal support. We've taken every precaution to make sure that you have a safe and enjoyable experience with Holzer Ford. So come see us at 10 Mile Haggerty in Palm Region Hills.
So, Sean, what do you think is going to happen here? As you were talking about the Christmas holiday coming after Thanksgiving, is like Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Giving Tuesday. What do you think is going to happen with these local stores with the lockdowns in place?
I don't know. It's
because a lot of these stores, they recommend, they rely, I should say, on a lot of this holiday shopping for their whole year.
Yeah. It's, listen, I mean, that's another thing that, you know, I love taking my kids out for the day at the local mall, and we make a day of it, and we have dinner after we go shopping and get presents for mom and everything. And it's, this is like a journey into the unknown. I mean, this is all stuff that, like, we haven't had to deal with this before.
Mm-hmm. You mean your kids don't get you at the mall?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
They must not be teenagers yet. Or they're past the teens, because it's like right that middle thing where they freak out and get crazy.
Yeah.
And then when they get older, they kind of, oh, you're back. There you are.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
The person I used to know.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah.
15 and 21.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, they're pretty cool with it. Yeah.
21 coming back.
Yeah, he's definitely coming back.
So so your son's in college, right? And so is he going to be with the new restrictions in place? Is he coming back to do online learning? What
he is? You know, it was interesting in the summertime. We had to make that decision because he goes to DePaul in Chicago, and we had to make that decision if he was going to stay home or not. And you know, until we found out from the college, we tried to wait to see what was going to happen. And finally we had to pull the trigger on getting an apartment. And I'm not joking. 2 days later, they announced everything was virtual. And it was like, you know what? I want him to enjoy the experience. You know, you're that age one time. And you know, I told him live life, be smart and everything. So he loves it. It's just unfortunate. He lives literally right around the block from Wrigley Field. And normally he would have been probably at 20 Cubs games. So it's kind of a bummer he missed out on that. But, you know, again, hopefully spring. Spring.
But he's coming home now for the winter and for the winter semester.
Yeah, they're like everybody else. He's going to be home now from November 24th. I think January 4th. So I mean, it's a long stretch. It's a long stretch. So
now will he go back to his apartment, or will he stay? Okay.
Yeah. He better. I'm not just going to let that apartment. I'm paying for that darn apartment. You go back there, young man.
Somebody's living there.
Yeah, that's exactly it. He's.
So how do you feel about him coming home? It's so weird. It's like you don't want to tell your kids don't come home.
Yeah, it's strange. You know, it is. I mean, the whole thing.
The whole thing is weird.
I asked him what he wanted to do, and he actually said, he goes, I want to come home. And when you hear that, it's over. Like,
right.
You know, but yeah, until that point, it was like, I don't know if he says he wants to stay, what am I supposed to do? But I'm glad he wants to come home. We're very blessed. He and my daughter, I mean, they're like that. It's strange, because I have friends, horror stories with the siblings and everything. And Jack and Lauren are just totally like BFF. I mean, they really are. So that's pretty cool.
So she's at home.
Yeah.
Virtual.
Yeah. Yesterday was her last day. They had hybrid out here in Northville. They had the hybrid. So she was going every other day. So yesterday, that was her last day. So she's going to do the virtual now for the next couple of weeks and hopefully go back in January. I don't know.
This year is like a wash. How do you fail a kid working from home? You know what I mean? Like everybody pass. Everybody get a pass. I mean, what are you going to do?
Yeah, it's there. The one thing, the kids are so much more resilient than I think we give them credit for. They really are. I think it's the parents that sit back and go, "Oh, poor so-and-so, they lost out on this, that, and the other thing." They're so much more resilient than we give them credit for. Just roll with the punches. And, I do feel sorry for the seniors last year. Right? Just think about, all those milestone moments that they missed,
Mm-hmm.
whether it be spring break or homecoming, graduation,
especially spring break.
Yeah, right. That's exactly it.
Look forward to that.
It could happen to the seniors this year.
True. Yeah. They could have another trip. Yes, what a weird year.
Yeah.
Very, very weird.
I mean, how far into 2021 is this going to go?
Oh, at least summer. Maybe longer, depending.
I mean, they've already took the NCAA tournament and moved it to one location.
Okay, that's smart.
In Indiana, if I'm not mistaken, Sean.
Yep.
So that's going to be really weird.
But it seemed like the bubble for basketball worked the best. And how they had it for hockey too. But it seemed like that situation was most controlled.
Yeah, well, Michigan State starts off basketball season, I think on Thanksgiving Eve next Wednesday. And they're at Breslin and no fans, obviously. So
that's going to be weird. How's Coach Izzo?
I think he's doing fine now. I know that he had the COVID, so. But it's going to be just weird. It's going to be and college football is battling with it. NFL just put in like these massive restrictions now for testing and intensive testing that they announced yesterday for the rest of the season. So, and then the story came out. I just saw that a bunch of Las Vegas Raiders players just tested positive. So,
yeah, they have really, as a franchise, they have really, really struggled. There have been issue after issue with the Raiders for whatever reason.
Yeah, I mean, Gruden got fined a bunch of money for not wearing a mask on the sidelines. Their coach, so yeah, they've had some struggles.
Family.
We are family. The Sam Bernstein Law Firm, Michigan's first family of law. 1-800-CALL-SAM.
The Paul W. Smith Show, News Talk 760, WJR. Here's special guest host, Sean Balegian.
Well, good morning, everybody. So glad you can join us wherever you may be on this Thursday morning. Sean Balegian sitting in for Paul W. Paul will be back on Monday, but in his stead, it is a pleasure to be sitting with you. Pleasure to be working with some fine people, some fine professionals as well. Good morning, Dana Clark.
Happy Friday Eve, Sean.
Happy Friday Eve to you. Dick Hafner, of course, providing us with the news. Good morning, Dick.
Good morning, everyone.
And, of course, back in the WJR studios, Dave Kingpin Rieger. Hello, Mr. Rieger.
Sean, how are you this morning?
Tremendous. And Danielle Mason. Hi, Danielle. I love that yell from wherever she is back in.
Sweet little voice.
That's
Yeah.
really high-tech audio.
Isn't it amazing? How much time, I don't know about you guys. I do so many of these StreamYards or Lucy's or Zooms. I do so many now. It's like, not that long ago, I was, how does this work? And everything. I'm so used to it now. I mean, even though the faces have changed for me this morning, it's a pleasure to be here. And I still can't help but say to myself, 2020 is going to 2020. I mean, that's where we're at right now. That's what we're dealing with in regards to this. Dick, you were saying before we went to the break, and Dana is paying homage. That's a sharp
Detroit basketball.
Yeah, that's a sharp ad.
Thanks,
Big
Trevor.
night for the Pistons, Dick.
Oh yeah, the Pistons have that new general manager, and the Pistons have kind of faded into the woodwork. Nobody's been paying attention to the Pistons around here for the last couple of years. They've been pretty bad, and then we have the virus disrupting all the sports schedules. But the Pistons ended up getting 2 extra first-round draft choices, and they appear to have built the center foundation of their team for the next few years with a point guard, a shooting guard, and a center. The new general manager, Weaver, he's a real wheeler and dealer.
And it was so overdue for a guy like Troy Weaver to come in here and, in essence, blow it up, because I always use this analogy for the Pistons, and it's depressing to me. I don't like saying it, but in the past decade plus, they've been like a hamster on a wheel. And you know how a hamster on a wheel, sometimes he's running real fast, but he isn't going anywhere. Sometimes he isn't running so fast, but he isn't going anywhere. And that's kind of what the Pistons have been. And hopefully this kickstarts them, to take a step up. I think there are going to be some dark times coming, but I think this is a guy that realizes the way that we've been conducting business isn't working. We need to mix things up a little bit. And much like the way that Steve Yzerman is redoing the Detroit Red Wings, it might be a step back to take a couple steps forward. And to me, that's reason for optimism, because the way they were conducting business hadn't been working.
Right. So that means we're going to have 2 teams on the upswing, both playing at Little Caesars. So Little Caesars Arena is really going to be, I think, rocking in the next few years.
Oh, wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah.
And Dana, you did the classic Detroit basketball thing. I'll tell you what, not that long ago, going out to the Palace of Auburn Hills for about a 5-year span was like a place to see and be seen. I mean, it was like a social event for a while, So much fun.
Pistons games used to be so fun. The only part you hated was leaving the Pistons game and trying to get on the freeway from the Palace. It's like, sir, I see it. It's right there. Why do I have to go?
Basketball has that feature of it, because the court is smaller and people
More
are much
intimate.
closer to the players. And then you get that electricity going, and it starts at the floor, spreads out to the rest of the arena, and basketball, it can be the most exciting sport.
True. That's a good point, Dick.
Can you imagine how exciting that whole area will be when the Red Wings, and hopefully the Pistons as well, because I firmly believe the Red Wings are on their way. I think Steve Yzerman has done just a masterful job, and
I think they are too.
Much like he did when he was the general manager down in Tampa. Can you imagine what that corner will be like? And Dick, you talk about that excitement. That excitement will literally emanate outside of that arena and that whole area, because there's nothing like it when our teams are doing well in this town. Everybody gets behind it. It's just so much stinking fun.
Yep, you are so right. And Dave Rieger, huge sports fan. Maybe he's the most knowledgeable one of all of us. What do you think? Can the Pistons catch fire here?
Oh, I mean, I thought that that was great last night, all the moves they made. I think that it's going to provide a good foundation, hopefully for the future, because Sean was right. They've been in purgatory for like 5-6 years of just, 7 seed, 8 seed, 6 seed. So you're not good enough to get one of those lottery picks. You're not bad enough to you're just stuck in the middle. You're on the edge of the playoffs. They would go to the first round. They would get swept out by like the Cavaliers and LeBron. And it was just miserable. So hopefully with the Red Wings and the Pistons both are in rebuild mode and on the upswing, and the Tigers with the new manager, hopefully they'll get going. And then you have the Lions, and even they can get to 500 on Sunday. So maybe we can finally get sports to start to maybe ramp up a little bit back here in Detroit.
Maybe that's something we can look forward to after the coronavirus starts going down and we get that under control. Hopefully. Maybe sports will bring us up and give us some new excitement after the COVID.
Here, Dick Hafner, no doubt about that. We will talk a little bit about the virus when we come back, but first, why don't we take a look at traffic and weather this morning with Dana Clark.
This report is sponsored by Compassion International.
We're all feeling the weight of COVID-19, but for kids in poverty this Christmas, things are desperate. Bring joy to a child when you make your special year-end gift to Compassion International. Just text GIFT to 83393. That's GIFT to 83393.
Traffic First, also sponsored by Capital Grill for a very special Thanksgiving Day treat your family to an exclusive Capital Grill Thanksgiving Day dinner prepared for pickup this Tuesday and Wednesday, or curbside and ready to serve on Thanksgiving Day. Call now to pre-order 248-649-5300 or order online at thecapitalgrill.com. Slow ride across the Blue Water Bridge, 30-minute delay for trucks traveling westbound between Canada and the U.S. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by the Restore Wellness Center. The Restore Wellness Center will reduce the pain, scar tissue, improve blood flow, nerve function, and muscle stimulation. Call the state's best non-invasive laser therapy treatment centers today. Get your first treatment free. Call 800-935-5959 in Brighton, Shelby, and Bloomfield, or restorewellnesscenter.com.
A brief cold snap now going away, near seasonal temperatures today, warmer tomorrow.
See you guys.
A few clouds, otherwise clear this morning. Some with a few clouds later, 45. Tonight, some clouds in town, about 37. Suburbs a little cooler. Thursday, the wind picks up. Clouds, sunshine close to 60. We could get into the mid-60s on Friday. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Staging on News Talk 760 WJR.
It's November, and if you're looking for any type of vehicle, come see what we can do for you. Hi, friends. Bill Golling here, reminding you about our 7 dealerships. We have Golling Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Bloomfield Hills, Chelsea, and Roseville. Golling Alfa Romeo Fiat in Birmingham. Golling Buick GMC in Lake Orion. Golling Toyota in Warren, and now open is Golling Kia on 14 Mile Road east of John R. in Madison Heights. Since 1966, we've been honored to serve all your automotive needs. Learn more online at golling.com. That's golling.com.
Paul W. here. Thanksgiving is around the corner, but not everyone in Metro Detroit is celebrating. Thousands of children, seniors, and families will struggle to put food on the table. WJR and the Chilani Family Foundation have launched Hunger Free in the D, a 3-week matching gift campaign to support the Capuchin Soup Kitchen and Gleaners Community Food Bank to provide 500,000 meals to struggling families during the holidays.
Here's the Chilani Family Foundation's Tom Chilani.
The partnership between Capuchins and Gleaners is very strong. They help out a lot of people, and I felt it was good that Vicki and I and our foundation get behind the two of them. So over the last 5 years, the Chilani Family Foundation has been able to donate over $500,000, but we've been able to raise with that $500,000 close to $1.7 million. So that is what the power of WJR, Paul W. Smith, and our foundation has been able to do.
Join us to help out. Visit hungerfreeinthed.com or call 313-254-4788.
Thinking about life insurance? Did you know in just a few minutes you can find the best price from up to 10 price competitive companies for free? You can with SelectQuote. For example, George is 39. He was getting sky-high quotes from other companies because he takes meds to control his blood pressure. But when I shopped around, I found him a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $22 a month. I'm SelectQuote agent Dan Savino, and believe me, if SelectQuote isn't shopping for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For your free quote, call 800-890-6688. That's 800-890-6688. 800-890-6688. Or go to selectquote.com. Since 1985, we shop, you save.
Get full details on the example policy at selectquote.com/commercials. Your price could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
Need an escape? Then gaze skyward and listen to the Wild Thing podcast as host Laura Krantz searches for extraterrestrial life.
The Pentagon's secret UFO program wasn't the military's first flirtation with this world.
Gaze skyward for season 2 of Wild Thing.
It's truly breathtaking. As a pilot and a former Air Force officer, I can definitively say that this craft did not resemble any man-made object that I'd ever seen.
Listen on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your shows.
You're hearing the Paul W. Smith Show. News Talk 760 WJR. Here's special guest host, Sean Baligian.
Well, good morning. So glad you can join us this morning. You know, I was talking with the gang this morning on the round table here on 760 WJR about what's the best term we could use? COVID fatigue. I think that's a term that's out there. Everybody has COVID fatigue. Every single human being has COVID fatigue. Make no mistake about it. But I think we're all getting tired of different aspects of it. I'm in particular very tired of the blame game. And it's interesting because somebody in our conversation this morning on StreamYard, you can watch this on Facebook if you're so inclined. Bill, and I want to give proper attribution because you said it better than I can say it or did say it. You cannot cure a virus. You can only treat it or try not to get it. The vaccine will only help you not get it. Yes, yes, yes. Isn't that what we always say about viruses? Right? You have to let the virus run its course. You know, there's nothing you can do when you get a virus. And it's amazing to me. And I know in particular, Dave Rieger, this goes back to conversations you and I had months ago when I was filling in on whether it be Guy's show or Mitch's show. And you and I had many a conversation about this. I must confess to you, I don't get the whole lockdown thing. I think hide and seek has shown it definitively does not work. It doesn't work. It does not work. This thing is going to be waiting for you. And yeah, I think we saw that happen from the summertime. And please, Dave, I hope you take that in the proper context. I'm not sitting here going, I was right, you're wrong, and people like you. I'm saying this is something that we're all living with. And if we haven't accepted that yet, we have to accept that. This isn't going to go, well, rats, I can't find people, so I'm just going to disappear somewhere into the stratosphere. You know what I mean? Yes, I'm all for bringing the numbers down. Yes, I'm all for limiting if hospitals are being overwhelmed again. Yes, 1,000 times yes. Okay, but I think to shut things down, you're only delaying the inevitable. It's going to come roaring back just like it did in the summertime. And I don't want that to happen to anybody. You know what I mean?
So did you think that it was the weather in the summer that flattened the curve, and it was not us locking down and people having to social distance and stay away?
I think it helps some. Yeah, absolutely. But to me, I think when you look at the fact that hurt so many people from a financial standpoint as well, I think you're almost creating two set of victims, truth be told. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I also, let me make this crystal clear. I'm all for social distancing. I'm all for wearing the mask, although there is some debate, and we will be talking to a guest later on this morning about just how much the mask works. But I always want to make it very clear because it seems that today people paint with the broad brush. Well, if you're somebody who's against these lockdowns, well, then you must be some. No. I'm wearing my mask. I'm doing my best to social distance. I have washed my hands more in the past 8 months than I probably did in the previous 3 years. Like, I'm not joking. So yes, be safe, do what you have to do. But we have to get to the point where instead of pointing the finger at the president, instead of pointing the finger at the governor, instead of pointing the finger anywhere, we have to accept that this is a virus. The virus is not making any kind of differentiation between a blue state or a red state, between somebody who's taking it serious and somebody who's not taking it serious. And we have to get to that. And it's funny because I was having a conversation with some of my friends, and I'm sure like many of you out there, and I'd love to get your thoughts this morning. We've got some time to take some calls. If you're up with us and you'd like to chat about it, by all means, 800-859-0WJR. I was having a conversation about this with some of my friends, and it was amazing because, Dave, a lot of the places that people on that side of the fence were holding up as evidence as, see, this is working, are now being hit the hardest. And to me, it's not about I told you so. You know, do you remember? Well, Europe, look, follow the model that Europe had. It's not going well in Europe.
I do remember that, yeah.
New York City. The way that New York City handled this. Oh, my goodness gracious. You know, the combination of Cuomo and de Blasio, that's what we should strive for. It's not going real well in New York. They just had their schools shut down yesterday. So, again, I'm not, I hope people take this in the proper context. I'm not saying ha, 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 or anything like that. This is something serious. This is getting people sick. This is killing people. You can't make light of something like that. But what you can do is say, is this just putting a Band-Aid on a problem and helping it right now, but then ripping the Band-Aid off in a few weeks and saying, okay, things are going back to normal? I like what Bill said in our conversation. He said, like grubs in your lawn, you treat your lawn, you're only pushing them further down or over to your neighbor. I think that's where we're at right now. I hope this brings it down. And, you know, if the spring is any indication, it will bring it down. And that will be great. But what's going to happen in January? What's going to happen in February? They're going to skyrocket again. That's just the way it is. That's the one thing that we've seen throughout this. And that's why I hope you're taking this in its proper context. I'm not blaming Governor Whitmer. I think it'd be insane to blame Governor Whitmer. I don't like the way she's handled it in a certain regard, and I'm not going to stop saying that. But the virus and the fact that the virus is raging in the state of Michigan is somehow Governor Whitmer's fault or somehow President Trump's fault. I think it's crazy. And I think that's what we have to do. We have to talk about, you might have an issue with the way that President Trump handled things. You might have an issue with the way that Governor Whitmer handled things. But to blame them for a virus, I think it's insanity. And can we stop shaming people, please? Because in case you're just joining us, when we were having the roundtable earlier this morning, I kid you not, it wasn't even close, the most safe and precautionary person I know got COVID. He was dumbfounded. And it was funny because, like, Rieger, I'm not lying. He was like, you could tell there was shame with him. And I was like, dude, come on. You could do everything right and you can still get this. So we need to stop shaming people as well. Love to get your thoughts this morning. We've got to look at traffic and weather momentarily. News at the bottom of the hour as well. But when we come back, love to get some thoughts from you this morning at 800-859-0WJR. First, why don't we take a look at traffic and weather with Dana Clark.
This report is sponsored by the Ad Council. Attention all thrifters. Those awesome finds you get at Goodwill are even awesomer than you may realize. Because as a nonprofit, Goodwill uses your purchases to fund job training and more in our neighborhoods. Learn more at goodwill.org.
So, Sean, still dealing with that closure in Lincoln Park. It's along 75 northbound between the Southfield Road and Outer Drive. Traffic is now stopped from North Line, looking at a 34-minute delay. This is involving a semi that's on its side. Please avoid the area if you can. New accident, disabled vehicle just reported on the exit ramp of 94 eastbound at Woodward. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by McLaren Health Plan. McLaren Health Plan is helping families stay healthy with coverage for virtual doctor visits, flu shots, and access to over 140 hospitals in Michigan. McLaren Health Plan, the right plan for right now. Learn more at McLarenHealthPlan.org. Well, we do have a wind advisory in effect this morning, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. But, oh boy, it's going to be a great day as far as the temperature is concerned. And it's going to be dry overall. We'll have some sun, clouds mixed. A high of 60 tonight, some clouds, overnight low, very good, low 50. For Friday, kicking off the weekend, partly cloudy skies and a high of 62. Clear skies, 39 degrees. I'm Dana Clark, WJR News with Dick Hafner in 2 minutes.
When Nicole's daughter was 18, she got the phone call every parent dreads.
Leah was a passenger in a car. Their vehicle was T-boned by a truck. Besides having collapsed lungs and some broken bones, she suffered traumatic brain injury.
It was a dark time.
We just had one goal for her as a family. That was just, Leah, open your eyes. That was it.
The family was devastated.
It was awful.
But with time,
very, very gradually, she began to come out of that coma. She still was unable to speak or even move.
but with the help of Oxford Recovery Center,
I thought it might be just what Leah needs, and I was right. It worked.
from autism to brain injury, if it needs healing, it needs Oxford Recovery Center.
And everybody's so friendly, too. That's one thing that Leah remarks all the time. Everyone here's so nice.
The new Brighton facility or in Troy at 248-486-3636 or visit oxfordrecoverycenter.com.
Don't ever give up.
Oxford Recovery Center, where healing begins.
Hi, folks. Craig Hubble, General Manager at Crestview Cadillac in Rochester. This is the month I want you to be driving a new Crestview Cadillac. You know, your safety is our top priority here, and I have a ton of 2020 and 2021 Cadillacs in stock, ready to deliver to you tonight, fully sanitized. These are the best prices of the year, and we're experts at employee pricing. We pull ahead Cadillac leases every day, and you'll always get a Cadillac loaner here. Call us now, see us on Rochester Road or at CrestviewCadillac.com.
This is Mike Donovan, host of Not Free America on Sundays at 5 p.m. right here on WJR AM 760 in Detroit. Will our country survive the coronavirus, riots, and economic devastation? Join us each week as we help you prepare for the new normal in this Not Free America.
Two Republican members of the Wayne County Board of Canvassers are trying to reverse their decision again after certifying the election results earlier this week. They indicate they think they were tricked. Monica Palmer, chairman of the Wayne County Board of Canvassers, and William Hartman, the other Republican on the board, filed signed affidavits demanding to rescind their yes certification votes. The first vote tied 2-2 along party lines. Then the board voted to certify under the stipulation that Secretary of State Benson would do a comprehensive audit of the county election. Benson now says there will be no audit. The State Board of Canvassers will meet Monday in a hearing that is open to the public to certify the total number of votes cast in the November general election, and then that'll be it. The two board members say they were intimidated and threatened when they were accused of being racists after initially voting no for certification. Michigan state health officials report 5,772 new cases of the COVID-19 and 62 more deaths. With two vaccines receiving promising test results, Pfizer says it's ready to apply for emergency use authorization with the FDA, and AstraZeneca and Oxford University report from England that their research in a vaccine they're developing show very promising results. U.S. regulators have okayed the use of the first rapid virus test that would be performed at home. The FDA granted the emergency authorization to the single-use test from Lucira Health Company. That's a manufacturer in California. The pandemic is causing big changes to the job market, some of which may be very long-lasting.
Some jobs crushed by the pandemic won't be making a comeback anytime soon, if ever.
That's the conclusion from research by the job search site Glassdoor. Among the jobs taking the worst hits are those in education, sales, office administration, and low-skilled service. Glassdoor chief economist Dr. Andrew Chamberlain says, compared to past downturns, this pandemic-induced recession has shifted consumer behavior and workplace habits in what could last for decades. Carmen Roberts, Fox News.
General Motors is getting into the car insurance business. GM OnStar will offer insurance next year. Apple has agreed to a settlement of $113 million to big corporate parties who sued Apple for deliberately slowing down older iPhones by sending them software updates that were actually bad for the phones. The lawsuits and the critics accuse Apple of trying to persuade the owners to buy new phones by hog-tying the old phones. An accused co-conspirator of the domestic terror plot to kidnap the governor appeared in a Wisconsin court. His name was Brian Higgins, and Higgins is charged with supporting terrorism. He's the 14th person charged in connection with the domestic terror plot. The Pistons worked trades to get 3 picks in the first round of the NBA draft. 19-year-old Killian Hayes, a point guard who played in Europe, University of Washington center Isaiah Stewart, and then the Pistons traded one of their shooting guards, Luke Kennard, to the Clippers and got the number 19 pick and drafted a shooting guard from Villanova, Sadiq Bey. The Wall Street futures are pointing down. I'm Dick Hafner, WJR News. More coming up with Sean Baligian.
This Sunday, there will be a massive piano sale featuring pianos used at Wayne State University's Department of Music for the past year. All Kawai and Yamaha Grand, upright, and digital pianos will be sold for a fraction of the price you would normally pay. For the best price and selection prior to Sunday, a preview appointment is strongly recommended by calling 313-829-0773. That's 313-829-0773. Special financing and delivery will be available from Evola Music. To ensure the best selection and price, schedule your preview and purchase appointment now by calling 313-829-0773. Don't miss this opportunity to save thousands of dollars on the piano your family deserves at Wayne State University's piano sale, hosted Sunday off campus in Bloomfield Hills. For scheduling and directions, call 313-829-0773. That's 313-829-0773.
This is Darren McCarty for Pain Free Life Centers. Claude Lemieux is still a turtling bitch. Signed, Darren McCarty. Let me tell you a little bit about Pain Free Life Centers and what they really do. It's unbelievable, the high-intensity, high-dose laser therapy. They treat your pain right at its source. What's the easiest way for me to tell you what it feels like to have a treatment done? I can't explain it. It just works. If they can help me with my bad back, join the team. I'm sure they can help you too.
Regaining your quality of life starts at Pain Free Life Centers. We're so confident in what we do, your initial consultation and first treatment are free. Call Pain Free Life Centers today. You truly have nothing to lose but your pain. Call 248-879-1100 or go to painfreelifecenters.com.
Give my friends at Pain Free Life Centers a call today, or I might find you and Claude Lemieux.
That's 248-879-1100 or visit painfreelifecenters.com.
You're hearing the Paul W. Smith Show, News Talk 760, WJR. Here's special guest host, Sean Baligian.
WJR. Coming up in about 10 minutes, you have probably heard the results of a Danish study about the necessity of masks. We'll go to a doctor and talk about that. Lord knows it's been bantied about, debated so many different ways in the last 8 months. But as always, this is the place where Detroit comes to talk, and we are talking with you this morning at 800-859-0WJR. Why don't we go to Plymouth to start things off, and that's where we find Rod. Rod, good morning. So glad you could join us on 760 WJR.
Good morning, Sean. You know, Paul's correct when he said that we need to all pretend that everyone has a virus, and now it's proven that we need to be selfish and distant, because 900 hospital workers wearing masks at the Mayo Clinic is not a pro-mask commercial in the making, and it's nothing about herd mentality. It's about distancing. But it's about, and you're very correct when you said this virus is not a normal virus. And you're right, it's not a typical virus. They're using a different platform. And even though there are 2 major vaccines out there that are ready to come online, there were about 147, and some are just are being studied that are in pill form. However, because this is just the promotion of your own antibodies, and there are some people who have within their body too much antibodies. So they still have to be careful about that. And I haven't heard anything in these studies about that. However, these vaccines are the same vaccines they developed 8 months ago. I sure wish they would have tried to push them and come to market with them a little faster, because it's not your typical virus vaccine.
Here. And it's interesting. And Rod, we appreciate the phone call here on 760 WJR. It's interesting because I always go back to this. I think it's the American way to try to blame somebody. And a friend of mine texted me during the break, and he said, how do you stop a tornado? Have we figured out how to stop a tornado? We can plan against it. We can take every precaution in the world, and it can still destroy our homes, destroy businesses, and take people's lives. That's what a virus is going to do. I hate to simplify it like that, but my goodness gracious, there's nothing we can do. So we can take the best precaution possible, right? And we can still get it. I mentioned it. I'll say it again. One of my dearest friends, a boyhood friend of mine, was literally the guy in my group of friends that was taking the most precaution. He, quite frankly, sorry, buddy, chastised some of us for getting together and hanging out in the summertime and everything. And in my group of friends, he's literally the only one that got it. And he felt like all the shame. And he was like, well, I kind of feel bad because I kind of preach at you guys. I was like, stop it. It's a virus. Like, knock it off already. 800-859-0WJR. That is the number. Why don't we go to Terry, listening in Monroe County? Terry, good morning. Thank you for joining us here on 760 WJR.
Good morning.
What's on your mind this morning, Terry?
I just wanted to make a comment. I kind of clicked in when we were talking about, pushing blame, whether, Governor Whitmer or President Trump. And of course, I don't think they are to blame for the virus. I do believe that there are decisions that Governor Whitmer made that did increase our death toll by putting COVID positive patients in nursing homes.
Sure.
The most vulnerable. We were one of the only states towards the end there that was doing that. So I do think that was a poor decision on her part, and I do think that she is responsible for that. I also do think that it's important we elect legislatures for our different districts, because Michigan is a very different geographical area, that she should be working. If we want to be transparent and we're all in this together, then she should be working with the different districts of the people that elect, of the legislators that are elected by the people in these different districts. And she continually does not do that.
I am 100% in agreement with you. And that goes for, I don't care if you're an independent. I don't care if you're a Republican. I don't care if you're a Democrat. And it's interesting to me, and thank you for the phone call, Terry. That's been like the go-to for I think, everybody involved in politics for a while, is pointing the finger at this person or that person, saying this person wants to be a dictator. This person, this person thinks they're the next fill in the blank of the great dictator and everything. I think that's one thing that we should all agree on. I don't care what side of the fence you're on. Decisions should not be made by a single entity. It's just that simple. That's why we have a legislature. That's why we have the branches of government that we have. So I agree with you there. Do we have time to take this last one, Mr. Rieger? I know we're coming up close to a break. Why don't we? Yeah, let's get it in. Jake and Troy, if you can, quickly, you're on 760 WJR.
Hey, Sean, great segue there. Yeah, there was a study, 100 black ants, 100 red ants in a jar could totally coexist, no problem, until you shook the jar violently and you dumped them out. The red ants thought the black ants were the enemy and they killed them, and the black ants thought the red ants were the enemy until they killed them. And my question is, who is the one shaking the jar and why? Just like you had mentioned, why are these people telling us all this hate? It's unnecessary. And that is the divisiveness.
I couldn't agree with you more. And you know what? I've come up with this is one man's idea. When I hear somebody say it's not political, 99% of the time it's political. I mean, that's kind of what I've come up with in regards to this, and that is a sad thing. That's a great analogy, by the way, Troy. Appreciate it mightily. We will talk to somebody that knows a little something about masks when we come back. Stay tuned for that. First, let's take a look at traffic and weather with Dana Clark.
This report is sponsored by Dell.
We have a special announcement from Dell Technologies. Black Friday is officially here. You can save up to 50% on powerful computers with Intel Core processors that'll take your small business to the next level. Call 877-ASK-DELL or go to Dell.com/SP Black Friday.
Disabled vehicle 94 eastbound at Woodward. That incident is clear from the exit ramp. 75 northbound between Southfield Road and Outer Drive. Looking at a 34-minute delay there. It is shut down due to an accident involving a semi that is on its side. Traffic is able to enter 75 northbound from Southfield Road, but you can exit at Dixie Highway northbound to Outer Drive eastbound. That will get you back to 75. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Reamer Floors. The latest in waterproof flooring technology is on sale now at Reamer Floors. Save 30% on Empower by Armstrong Flooring. Featuring a reinforced mineral core and superior scratch resistance. Visit ReamerFloors.com to schedule your shop at home or in-store appointment.
Pretty good looking day today. Now milder weather back after being stuck in the 30s yesterday. Milder means seasonable, 45, sunshine with a few clouds. Tonight, drop back to 37. Tomorrow, the wind picks up out of the south. We're close to 60 with a mix of clouds and sunshine. Friday, even milder, a mix of clouds and sunshine, 65. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic on News Talk 760 WJR.
Hey, Michigan, I've been waiting a long time to say this. Online sports betting is almost here. But wait, I've got even more good news. If you register an account early with FanDuel Sportsbook, you will get $100 in free bets once they do go live. There's no deposit required. Just sign up, verify your account, you're all set. See for yourself why FanDuel Sportsbook is America's #1 sports betting app. Easy to register, easy to deposit, easy to find your bet. Fast withdrawals, too. When you win, you get your money fast. Just sign up at FanDuel.com/100free to claim your $100 in free bets. That's $100 in free bets when you visit FanDuel.com/100free.
Must be 21 and over and present in Michigan. Bonus issued a non-withdrawable site credit that expires 7 days after FanDuel goes live in Michigan. $100 is distributed as $50 site credit on each of Sportsbook and Casino. Unique user ID verification required. Offer ends on go live day. Gambling problems? Call 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help.
WJR and the Chilani Family Foundation have launched Hunger Free in the D, a 3-week matching gift campaign to support the Capuchin Soup Kitchen and Gleaners Community Food Bank. Our goal is to provide 500,000 meals to struggling families during the holidays. And now the Chilani Family Foundation will match up to $200,000.
Now, as we prepare for Thanksgiving, let's help Gleaners and the Capuchin Soup Kitchen make a difference for those less fortunate. This is Dario Bergamo, proud supporter of Hunger Free in the D.
Without business leaders in the community, we really would not be able to continue what we do.
Chilani Family Foundation's Tom Chilani.
The partnership between Capuchins and Gleaners is very strong. They help out a lot of people, and I felt it was good that Vicki and I and our foundation get behind the two of them.
Give now. Go to hungerfreeinthed.com or call 313-254-4788. That's hungerfreeinthed.com or call 313-254-4788.
I'm Frank Beckman, and I'm joined by my friend Chris Alberta from Principium. And a lot of people are really concerned right now because we're in this Medicare enrollment period. Chris, you've told me before that people are going to spend, in some cases, $30,000 to $50,000 more than they have to on Medicare in their lifetime. How does that happen, and how do you avoid it?
Well, it happens because we are, as a culture, just inundated with information, misinformation, and the salespeople that are selling us these plans are simply not spending the time to show us all the options and specifically show us the ones that are best for us. Michigan retirees, Frank, are hemorrhaging money on Medicare plans that they don't necessarily understand, and they're being sold them by people who really don't care about what is best for the client in many cases, so much as what the best premium is, the best product, the best coverage level.
And there's so much involved in Medicare that needs discussion. When people come into Principium or call you on the telephone, you're talking about doctor care, you're talking about long-term care, you're talking about RX. There's so many things involved.
There's so many elements. And let me just put it to you this way. If I was a 65 plus year old person on Medicare, I would be desperately trying to find the one plan for myself, maybe for my spouse and myself, that could be and should be the option for the next 10, 15, 20 years of our life, rather than jumping every single year through all these hoops, finding the next best plan or having rate increases that are driving me crazy. It's criminal what's happening out there with the lack of information. Most people should be on plans that cost somewhere between $0 per month and maybe $50, $60, $70 per month. There's going to be folks who buy regular garden variety Medicare supplements from the big names we've all heard of, but what they should be doing is calling a team and saying, hey, listen, sit down with me for a half an hour, 45 minutes, and teach me how to do this properly.
Call Principium and Chris Alberta.
888-800-8949, or go to retirelikefrank.com right away.
Warm up with 2 new pizzas at Buddy's. Buffalo chicken pizza with marinated chicken, a hot sauce drizzle, and homemade ranch dressing. And our caramel apple pie pizza baked on Buddy's pizza crust and topped with vanilla ice cream. Buddy's offers curbside carryout, dine-in, and delivery via DoorDash.
You're hearing the Paul W. Smith Show, News Talk 760, WJR. Here's special guest host, Sean Baligian.
6:48 on a Thursday morning. So glad you could join us here, 760 WJR. Glad to be sitting in, chatting with you this morning on the Paul W. Smith Show. Paul will be back on Monday. Well, I'm sure that you saw it. Maybe you did not, but yesterday, a Danish study had the audacity to question the use of masks to protect wearers. And we know how much this has been bantied about. I am not a medical expert, nor do I attempt to play one on the radio. So I thought we would talk to a real medical expert and get the doctor's thoughts on this Danish study. Let's welcome in Frank McGeorge, MD, Local 4's Good Health medical expert, kindly joining us this morning. First of all, doctor, thank you so much for joining us here on 760 WJR. How are you?
Hey, I'm good, thanks. How are you this morning?
Doing very well, doctor. I'm intrigued to hear from a medical expert about the findings in this Danish study. I'm sure you've seen it, but for those out there, they basically found that masks prevent people from transmitting the coronavirus to others. Scientists agree with that, but a new trial failed to document protection from the virus among wearers, and they came to the conclusion that it did not protect the wearers against infection with the coronavirus. And by all means, doctor, I'm not trying to fan any flames of discontent. I'm just interested to hear from a real doctor about this finding and certainly what your thoughts are.
Well, so this is obviously a topic of interest to a lot of people. And given my role as both a doctor and a medical reporter, I'm in a pretty unique position to talk about it. And I personally think it really is important to talk about studies that show both what you hope they'll show and ones that don't. And so, this is, I think, an effort to provide the most accurate coverage of a very important topic that affects a lot of people. So first of all, let me just say this study was published in the Annals of Internal Medicine. So this was not some small study published in a tiny little journal. This is a major medical journal, and it was a very large Danish study that was well done. This was a randomized controlled trial, over 6,000 people in Denmark who spent at least 3 hours outside their homes every day. So basically, we're talking normal people who had occupations that did not require masks. So they were normal people who didn't wear masks all the time and were known not to have COVID-19. Basically, half were told to use surgical masks, the other half did not. So to recap, basically, the study was looking at whether masks could reduce being infected by SARS-CoV-2, basically whether they're protective in regular people at a time in Denmark when most people were not actually wearing masks.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of 1 month, they basically found 40 people in the mask group were infected and 53 people in the control group or the no mask group were infected. So 40 and 53, which is actually not statistically different. I mean, one might argue that the 53 in the no mask group was a trend to masks maybe being a little protective, but honestly, it's not statistically different, and that's what we use. And the authors did, in fact, as you pointed out, conclude that wearing a mask when outside the home did not reduce the incidence of SARS-CoV-2 infection. So the question is, what's the takeaway? Well, this study really helps make the point that masks are not bulletproof barriers that protect the wearer 100%. That's kind of the bottom line. This study does not address some other things, though. So what I think the important element is, the take home is masks are not perfect for protecting the wearer. That is an important point. And I think we have made that effort, although the CDC has recently upgraded its guidelines saying that that masks can protect the wearer to a degree. But what this study does not address is the primary reason that we have been recommending mask use, and that's called source control. There is actually still strong evidence that more than protecting the wearer, masks actually protect other people from the wearer. So they keep your secretions, your goo to yourself. And big picture, I really applaud the Annals of Internal Medicine for publishing a study which might add, fuel to the controversy, but it was a reasonably well done study that does give us information in real world conditions. And that is that masks are basically an imperfect protection to the wearer in this particular study. Now, I'm sure there will be more studies done, and they may show something one way or another. It's hard to know, but this particular study did not show a benefit to the wearer. I will emphasize, though, we still need to wear masks to protect others from us. And although not statistically seen in this study, there is probably some protective effect to the wearer. And for me personally, this study, I think, adds to our understanding of what masks can and can't do. But I will personally still wear a mask, both in public and in the hospital, for my protection and the protection of the people around me. But again, I think it's really important to get the word out or get the information out about studies that, again, support our views and don't support our views, but provide important information that is background for everyone that needs to understand it.
Wow, it's great chatting with you this morning, because I'll tell you what, I think, and you know this, Doctor, we live in a society where oftentimes people will read a headline or take the cliff notes and twist it any way they want. You go to a medical expert, and I applaud you for saying, yes, we should be doing more of this as well. He is Dr. Frank McGeorge, Local 4's good health medical expert, kindly joining us this morning. Dr. McGeorge, you brought up something that is near and dear to my heart, and I think, like me, you probably have friends that are just anti-mask. I'm going to wear the mask, if not for anything else. I would feel a heck of a lot of guilt if somehow, some way I got somebody sick. And I think if people think of it that way, maybe it kind of changes the negative connotation of wearing a mask.
Right. We absolutely should do everything that we can to reduce the risk to ourselves and to other people. And if, as you pointed out, if you are responsible for another person becoming infected, that's something that is on you. I mean, that's something that you have to live with. And it's a simple thing to wear a mask. And it does provide protection to other people against you. And I think that's an important element that people really just overlook, because, they may only see the benefit to themselves. And they need to understand that they're providing a benefit to other people, whether they think they're infected or not. There is a good chance these days that you may be infected and simply asymptomatic, and therefore a mask is an important barrier.
Great stuff. Dr. McGeorge, make sure you check him out on Local 4. We appreciate the expertise and certainly wish you health, especially this holiday season. Thank you so much, Doctor.
Thanks. Take care. Have a good morning.
Dr. McGeorge kindly joining us, and yet another reason to stop shaming people. My goodness gracious, can we stop that, please? We've got traffic and weather now with Dana Clark. Dana?
This report is sponsored by Compassion International.
We're all feeling the weight of COVID-19, but for kids in poverty this Christmas, things are desperate. Bring joy to a child when you make your special year-end gift to Compassion International. Just text GIFT to 83393. That's GIFT to 83393.
Now, Kevin, a 48-minute delay along 75 northbound, I should say, Sean, 75 northbound between Southfield Road and Outer Drive, shut down there due to an accident in Lincoln Park. This is involving a semi that is turned on its side. Traffic can exit Allen northbound to Northline eastbound. That will take you to Fort Street northbound, and that will get you back onto 75. But the best bet, just avoid the area. 30-minute delay for trucks across the Blue Water Bridge westbound between Canada and the U.S. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Gordon Chevrolet. Gordon Chevrolet has Black Friday deals all month long. Cyber Cash, a lease pull-ahead program with up to $1,500 in loyalty bonus cash. And leases starting under $200 a month, extended hours Black Friday, Saturday, and Monday. Ford Road, just west of Merriman in Garden City, GordonChevrolet.com. Gordon Chevrolet, find new roads. Get a bit of a warm up today. Also a wind advisory, though. 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Winds could be pretty gusty at times, but enjoy the sun and the clouds mixed. A high of 60. Tonight, some clouds overnight, your low 50. For Friday, partly cloudy, hitting 62. Clear skies, 39 degrees. I'm Dana Clark, WJR News with Dick Hafner in 2 minutes.
Whether it's 15 terrifying miles to the first date or 92 miles to meeting your furry best friend and naming him Max. Whether it's 300 eager backseat miles to funnel cakes and Ferris wheels or just heading to work. Marathon has the fuel to keep your engine running at peak performance because you never know where life is going to take you. For quality fuel through every mile, fill up at Marathon.
It's happening. Publishers Clearinghouse is awarding a $2,500,000 mega prize in just days. Enter now at PCH.com, and your family could soon be celebrating the win of a lifetime. Don't miss your last chance to win the $2,500,000 mega prize. Go to PCH.com before it's too late. That's PCH.com. Better hurry. Enter at PCH.com now. Entries due 11/29. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited.
Is the cost of finishing the basement worth the benefit of some peace and quiet? When questions find you, Merrill Edge Self-Directed Investing can help you find answers with personalized planning tools and insights to help you get where you want to go, even if it's just downstairs. Merrill, a Bank of America company. Visit merrilledge.com/withinreach to get started today.
Investing involves risk. Merrill Lynch, Pierce, Fenner & Smith Incorporated. Registered broker-dealer, member SIPC. Investment products are not FDIC insured, are not bank guaranteed, and may lose value.
At Donors Choose, we want students and teachers to have the tools they need for a great education. And now, more than ever, they need your support. Learn more at donorschoose.org.
Donors Choose. Support a classroom.
Build a future.
WJR Detroit and WDVD HD2 Detroit. 760 WJR, where Detroit comes to talk.
An election brouhaha in Wayne County. 2 Republicans on the Wayne County Board of Canvassers are trying to rescind their vote to certify the county's presidential election results. Monica Palmer and William Hartman signed affidavits to say the Wayne County election had serious process flaws which needed to be investigated. They voted not to certify the election results before reversing course and certifying the results during a heated meeting. They were being charged with racists and more by observers who made sharp comments to them who were watching the online meeting. They both reversed their votes when the board asked for an audit of precincts where the numbers showed some discrepancies. Now the Secretary of State says there will be no audit, and the problems were minor in her opinion. The Michigan State Board of Canvassers will meet next Monday to certify the election. If they don't do that, the issue will go to court. Election officials in Georgia finished a full audit of the election. More than 3,000 uncounted ballots turned up in Georgia. Trump gained some votes, but election officials said this would not be enough to reverse the Biden victory in Georgia. The chair of the Republicans, Ronna McDaniel.
We have just found 6,000 votes that were not counted in Georgia, that were not counted. They were missed because of an audit. With this type of discrepancy in Wayne County, it's very reasonable to say we should look into this.
Health officials in Lansing reporting 5,772 new cases of the COVID and 62 deaths in Michigan, the sixth highest number of COVID cases and the fifth highest number of deaths in the U.S. in the last week, according to data from the CDC. How many healthcare workers are getting the virus? The Mayo Clinic says more than 900 of their workers, nurses, doctors, and others in clinics in the Midwest have contracted the virus, and Mayo Clinic says that's affecting their ability to care for patients. Mayo Clinic says the majority of staffers became infected due to community spread, not inside the hospitals or the clinics. Joe Biden says his administration is being hampered by the Trump White House refused to cooperate on transition. Biden says that his administration's COVID response might be harmed. Criticism continues for the California governor, who was not practicing the social distancing that he publicly is requiring of citizens in California in attending a big party at a lavish restaurant. Oakland University police officials are investigating after a female student reported that a man, apparently a non-student, sexually assaulted her on campus last Friday. High school sports in Michigan will resume. The High School Athletic Association approved an adjusted schedule to restart and conclude fall tournaments in football, girls volleyball, girls swimming and diving, and winter sports after the end of the governor's restriction period on December 9th. The Pistons worked trades and got 3 picks in the first round of the NBA draft. Their top choice, a 19-year-old Killian Hayes, who played in Europe. He's a point guard. On Wall Street, the Dow futures are down more than 100 points. I'm Dick Hafner, WJR News. More coming up with Sean Balegian.
Stay on the right track to 9 Mile and Mac.
During the holiday season, the Royal Bryan Ford family would like to give thanks to its long-standing loyal customers and their hardworking dealership team. Royal Bryan now makes it easy to review all their holiday deals online and fast-track your next Ford purchase by visiting RoyalBryan.com. Royal Bryan Ford, where friends have been sending friends for over 74 years.
Royal Bryan has the best deal around.
Learn all about heart attack, stroke prevention, artery disease, and how to beat the widowmaker from Dr. Brian Colander, MD, arteriologist and internal medicine specialist. Tonight at 7:05 p.m. on News Talk 760 WJR.
In the face of COVID-19, staying healthy is important. And now the same is true in the face of flu. Influenza has the power to infect millions, putting lives and the healthcare system at risk. Now more than ever, getting your flu vaccine is essential. Vaccines are proven to be safe and effective. In a typical year, flu vaccinations prevent millions of illnesses and thousands of hospitalizations and deaths in the U.S. The flu vaccine can't give you the flu, and everyone 6 months and older should be vaccinated. As we continue to face COVID-19, we need to face the flu together to protect our healthcare and essential workers and those at the highest risk for flu complications, people over 65, younger than 5, pregnant women, and those with underlying health conditions. Help us hit the flu head on. Get your vaccine. Learn more at michigan.gov/flu. A message from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services.
At Beaumont Employer Services, we're committed to keeping Michigan moving forward. We teamed up with Oakland University to ensure students started the semester with confidence, built back-to-work plans with 24/7 support to help keep Big 3 employees on the job, and helped Lear Corporation with COVID-19 testing to bring workers back safely. Beaumont Employer Services has a plan for you, too. Find out how we can be your safety net at beaumontemployerservices.org.
The Paul W. Smith Show, News Talk 760, WJR. Here's special guest host, Sean Balegian.
Well, good morning. So glad you could join us on a Thursday morning, a week from Thanksgiving. Still lots to give thanks for. I'm sorry. I'm an accentuate the positive type of person. This has been the most miserable year ever for a vast majority of us. Make no mistake about that, but certainly still a lot of reason to give thanks. And I'm thankful to be with you this morning in a cheesy radio segue. My name is Sean Belegian. Paul will be back on Monday. And one of the things that we're talking about, and we'll continue with phone calls throughout the show today at 800-859-0WJR. Michigan hits number 5 in the nation for COVID-19 deaths, number 6 for cases, ICU patients. And you know what? I'm not going to point the finger at Governor Whitmer over that. I've had my issues with the way the governor has handled things. I do not blame the governor for a virus. Nobody is to blame for a virus, for goodness sake. Okay. The way we handle it. Yeah. Then we can have a debate and we can agree, disagree, hopefully civilly. We need more civility. That's for sure. But at the end of the day, it's not Governor Whitmer's fault. It's not Donald Trump's fault. Are there people that have been behaving, quote unquote, reckless? Well, sure there are. Sure there are. I think we all know that, okay? But there are also people that have done every single possible thing that medical experts are suggesting, and they are still getting the virus. Now, why is that? It's a virus. Numbers is always 800-859-0WJR. Brenda has been very patient waiting in Warren. Brenda, thank you very much for your patience. You are on 760 WJR. Good morning, Brenda.
Good morning, and thank you. I do agree with you that this is a virus, and the president and the governor are not at fault. But I also say that we are not at fault, because a lot of these closing downs are, oh, you do better, we can open up. And
Hear.
so, huh?
Here. I couldn't agree with you more. Here.
Yeah. So, yeah, we keep being locked down, and probably the results are going to be the same, whether we're locked down or not. And that's what so why are we punishing our businesses? And we know procedures, how to be safe. So let us be open with precautions and try to be careful. I do wear a mask, when I'm out with people. So I'm just saying we need to be careful, but if we're just punishing our businesses, I don't like to see them going out of business or losing money.
I agree with you. I think you're making a bad situation worse. That's just two people's opinion. And Brenda, I appreciate your opinion, any opinion this morning here on 760 WJR. And you know what? If history has taught us anything, let's take this to its logical conclusion, okay? This latest lockdown that started yesterday. I don't think anybody expects it to be lifted December 8th. Can we say that now? Can we say that, I don't know about you. I don't think this will be a 3-week thing. I just don't. Okay. I think it'll be longer than that. How much longer than that? I don't know. All right. But for the sake of an argument, let's say it lasts until the new year. It lasts until the first week of January, and then it's lifted.
Mm-hmm.
It's learned behavior. What's going to happen in January? It's going to go. The numbers are going to go right back up, just like they did it late in the summer and into the fall. I mean, right? That's what's going to happen. So, Brenda, I appreciate the phone call. I'm with you. To me, it's to the point of let's take this to its what we think to be logical conclusion. It's already learned behavior. We've experienced that already, right? That's how we all lived in the spring. We all yelled and gnashing of teeth and debated each other. The one thing that we can all agree on, whether you were pro-lockdown or anti-lockdown, is it put a Band-Aid on a problem. It helped the problem for a little while, and the problem is still here. And it's raging more than it was in the spring. Those aren't my words. Those are doctors' words. Those are the governor's words, okay? So let's take this lockdown to its logical conclusion. Let's say it's January. Well, what's going to happen in February or March and into April? Unless we get that vaccine that can help you avoid it, the numbers are going to skyrocket. And that's why I was a big fan of using this term. Hide and seek isn't going to work with a virus. Oh, rats, I can't find anybody. I guess I'm leaving. I'm going to another state. Doesn't work that way. All right, numbers is always 800-859-0WJR. Let's take a moment for WJR's Business Beat. Here's Jeff Sloan, founder and CEO of Startup Nation, to spotlight the entrepreneurs, tech, and startup community right here on 760 WJR.
Good morning. As business owners, we are faced with the daunting challenge of keeping our staff and customers safe during this crisis. To help us understand how to do just that, our good friend John Ezzo, President and CEO of New Image Building Services, offered us valuable insight and guidance on how to do just that. John, keeping our offices clean in the past might have been about appearances, but today it's really about health and safety. And given that providing a safe environment is a weakest link equation, can you break down for us some of the best practices that we need to deploy?
Good question, Jeff. Best practices are the first line of defense is good access control. Lots of our clients are using like an app on the phone for people to answer health screening questions and travel questions and so forth, and then get the green light cleared for entrance. When they enter the building, they have their temperature taken, of course, depending on their systems, so that the client always knows who's in the building, what time they came in, what time they left. And then second of all is a comprehensive program of disinfection. Touch points, your door entrances, the copy machines, reception desk. Another good best practice is providing stations throughout the building where people can obtain disinfectant wipes or a spray bottle of disinfectant and disposable wipes to clean their work surface if they want to, or their phone or their computer keyboard, their mouse. In addition to that, most of our clients are having us go through and do a deep clean and disinfection of the workstations once or twice per week. So with those things combined, the physical, social distancing, the touch point cleaning, the readily accessible disinfection materials, and most importantly, the access control, is providing a safe environment for the folks to return to the office and be productive.
Great advice. John Ezzo, President and CEO of New Image Building Services. Thank you, John. I'm Jeff Sloan, founder and CEO of StartupNation.com, and that's today's Business Beat on the great voice of the Great Lakes, WJR.
This report is sponsored by Compassion International.
We're all feeling the weight of COVID-19, but for kids in poverty this Christmas, things are desperate. Bring joy to a child when you make your special year-end gift to Compassion International. Just text GIFT to 83393. That's GIFT to 83393.
96 eastbound after Beck Road. Sean, a new accident in Novi has you slow from at least to Wixom Road, looking at a 6-minute delay. The big problem this morning remaining along 75 northbound, shut down between Southfield Road and Outer Drive, closed there due to an accident. A semi is on its side. Traffic is delayed from at least North Line Road, a 50-minute backup. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by McLaren Health Plan. McLaren Health Plan is helping families stay healthy with coverage for virtual doctor visits, flu shots, and access to over 140 hospitals in Michigan. McLaren Health Plan, the right plan for right now. Learn more at mclarenhealthplan.org.
While the weather quickly coming back now, up close to 60 by tomorrow afternoon, mid-60s by Friday. Sunshine with a few clouds today, 45. Some clouds tonight, milder, 37. Outlying areas a little chillier. And a south breeze kicks up tomorrow. Clouds, sunshine close to 60 and mid-60s on Friday. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stijikon. News Talk 760 WJR.
From the depths of winter to cookouts in summer, natural gas is your safe, reliable, affordable energy source. Because DTE buys gas in the summer when prices are low and stores it to keep prices affordable. And we upgrade and monitor the system 24/7, 365. So for all you do, natural gas is there for you. Learn more at dteenergy.com. DTE. For all the dinners cooked, something smells good. For all the clothes dried, for all the hot showers, there's safe, reliable natural gas from DTE. We keep gas safe by constantly inspecting, upgrading, and monitoring our lines 24/7, 365. So for all you do, natural gas is there for you. Find out more at dteenergy.com. DTE.
Do Michelle's is pleased to announce their Thursday and Friday, November 19th and 20th auction. From prominent collectors including a treasure trove of exquisite art from the estate of Detroiter George Palmer. Visit auctiondetroit.com. It features oil paintings, graphics, art glass, silver, oriental rug sculptures, finely crafted mid-century and antique furniture, and more. Preview today at Dumichel's Gallery across from the Renaissance Center. For details, visit auctiondetroit.com. Dumichel's, a Detroit tradition since 1927.
Thinking about life insurance? Did you know in just a few minutes you can find the best price from up to 10 price competitive companies for free? You can with SelectQuote. For example, George is 39. He was getting sky-high quotes from other companies because he takes meds to control his blood pressure. But when I shopped around, I found him a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $22 a month. I'm SelectQuote agent Dan Savino, and believe me, if SelectQuote isn't shopping for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For your free quote, call 800-890-6688. That's 800-890-6688. 800-890-6688. Or go to selectquote.com. Since 1985, we shop, you save.
Get full details on the example policy at selectquote.com/commercials. Or price could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
With much of Michigan adjusting to a new normal, Henry Ford Health System is all for moving forward. But what does that mean as we continue to battle this pandemic? Right now, moving forward means exploring all the ways to stay active and healthy, like biking, jogging, or yoga, but also understanding how to do them safely. Moving forward also means not delaying important care, whether it's preventive or critical care. Because while COVID-19 has our attention now, cancer, heart disease, and diabetes remain serious threats to our health. And of course, moving forward means masking up, because it's the most effective way to protect our loved ones and ourselves. Henry Ford Health System believes that right now, the best way forward is refusing to go back. And we're all for pushing ahead with you. Henry Ford Health System, all for you. Find more ways to move on at henryford.com/onward.
You're hearing The Paul W. Smith Show, News Talk 760, WJR. Here's special guest host, Sean Baligian.
Well, I am a sucker for the next month plus in the calendar. I'm one of those people. I truly believe it is the most wonderful time of the year. I love to plan little things with my family. One of the things that we do, my kids and I have had this tradition for years. We just call it the shopping day. And having a sports background, I make my game plan. You know, I'm ready. I know what stores we're going to go to, et cetera, et cetera. To help you get your game plan together, we thought it might be of interest to you to have Molly Vandenberg, Google Trends expert, join us this morning. Molly, I'm sure that you can help even people like me get our game plan together for the holiday season. Thanks for getting up with us this morning, Molly. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me, Sean.
No, Molly, it's interesting because, I was saying before we introduced you, I put together a game plan, but even the seasoned veteran can put together a better game plan. What kind of suggestions do you make for this, the most wonderful time of the year?
I love the idea of a game plan, and I'm with you. And I also think that, like you mentioned, everyone can use a few tips, especially this year when things might look a little bit different or we might have to approach things a little bit different. And of course, with a tool like Google Maps, we've been taking a look at some trends that have been persisting in the Detroit area over the past few months. And one thing that I think is really interesting is popular times. And so what you can do is for any kind of store or establishment that you might be going to, if you open it up in Google Maps, you can actually see a chart that'll estimate the popular times for that place and the real-time busyness. So if you're looking to avoid crowds and social distance, this can be a great thing to introduce into that game plan. And a little bit of insight for you, if you're going to be preparing for those holiday meals, I can tell you that grocery stores in specific in the Detroit area have been busiest on Saturdays between 4 and 5 and least busy on Wednesdays at 9 a.m. So that might help you out a little bit.
Isn't that fascinating? Isn't that what we want to do, Molly? Because, I mean, to me, that's part of picking the date and time that I go with my kids is when can I get in and get out to the best possible way? So now I know what that time is.
Exactly. I find that these days we have to be pretty intentional. And like you said, even in more normal circumstances, none of us like to spend more time than we need to. You have a lot to get done over this holiday season and the most wonderful time of the year. So these tips can really help you save some time.
Molly Vandenberg, Google Trends expert, kindly joining us here on 760 WJR. The elephant in the room, of course, is COVID-19, and doing some research for our conversation today. I was intrigued to hear about the COVID layer and how you can use that on maps. Can you explain that to everybody?
Of course, this is really useful, especially if, depending on your individual situation, you do need to travel and you might be venturing outside of the area you're familiar with, or if you're just trying to stay up to date with what's going on in Detroit. If you open up Google Maps, in the upper right-hand corner, there's a little button that looks like a couple of diamonds. That's the layers button. And if you click on that and turn on COVID-19 info, what this is going to show you is the average, 7-day average of new cases per 100,000 people in an area. So you can zoom in and out and go to different places on the map and make sure that you're staying up to date and informed with what's going on in a particular area. It's really useful as you want to be able to make your plans. And what's great is that we recently made a couple of updates to it this week, where it'll also link out to local authoritative information so you can find the latest on restrictions or any special policies. It's really useful.
It is a great idea. You know what? There's nothing like finding, a little piece. Hey, who's kidding who? As much peace as you can. We're not going to have total peace until this thing is gone, but nothing like seeing if you can find a little piece as you're going about your day.
Definitely. And things are changing all the time. And I think it's so important that we're staying up to date, but also kind of reducing the consumption because there is so much news out there. So this is a really easy tool that's already on your phone, probably in something that you're using anyway, and is a great place to get that info.
Once again, kindly joining us this morning, Molly Vandenberg, Google Trends expert here on 760 WJR. I love this idea because this is something that having two kids, and they're older now, but still, dad's going to worry. Make sure you share your ETA, whether you're going to the same place or you're meeting somebody. You can't do that enough, right?
This is one of my favorite tips too, and my mom loves it still. And so what's great here is that if you're driving, you can swipe up in the navigation mode to share your trip progress with a particular person for a particular time. And that'll give them a sense of, when to expect you and when you might arrive. So that way there's no risk of doing that whole, I'm texting you that I'm 5 minutes away, or I'm giving you another call. They'll already know. And what's also really cool is that you can use this even if you aren't driving. So if you're meeting up with people outdoors for a socially distant gathering, you can do this if you are trying to find each other at a park, and you can even get AR overlaid directions to that point. It's really useful, like you said, for keeping everyone on the same page.
Oh, it's a great idea. What are some of the new things that are out there, with Google Assistant, and I'm reading about the driving mode and everything. There's some new things that people can be on the lookout for?
Yes, driving mode just came out this week. And as I mentioned, I know that a lot of people are still driving. It is the most popular mode of transportation in the area, and that remains true as we look at those trends. And this is a great tool for people who have Android phones. What you're going to be able to do is that as you are in your navigation screen, getting your directions, you can take care of a lot of different tasks without ever leaving that screen. So you can answer calls or return messages, play podcasts, and this is really great as well because if you have a vehicle that doesn't have one of those screens or infotainment systems in it, it's essentially doing that for you on your phone.
Isn't it amazing? The one thing that jumped out to me, I'm somebody that I do all the cooking in the house. I love every second of it. But even people like me, sometimes you want to go get something. And this is the one that jumped out to me. We can even self-police in regards to letting our food get cold. Can you explain to everybody that bit?
Yeah, so this is a good one. And I think this folds back into sharing your ETA as well. Like, you might not want to let that dinner get cold. You want to bring it out at the time that everyone's going to be ready. So I think by understanding when things might actually get started, that can help you make sure that that food's not going to get cold.
Oh, I think it's outstanding. Molly, really appreciate the expertise, and certainly with everything going on, I hope you and everybody out there make this the best holiday season ever, and hopefully Google will help with that as well. Molly Vandenberg, Google Trends expert, thank you so much for your time and your expertise.
Thank you so much for having me today.
All right, you take care. Molly Vandenberg kindly joining us here on 760 WJR. While we have a second, why don't we take a look at traffic and weather with Dana Clark?
This report is sponsored by the Ad Council. There's no guidebook to adopting a teen, but that's okay because you don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Go to adoptuskids.org to learn more about adoption and find out how you can be a perfect parent to one of the teens in foster care.
Sean, that a major problem is still there in Lincoln Park, 75 northbound between Southfield Road and Outer Drive. 52-minute backup shutdown there due to an accident involving a semi. It is on its side. Traffic is delayed from at least Allen Road. 96 eastbound after Beck Road. Accident has you delayed from at least Wixom Road. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by McLaren Health Plan. McLaren Health Plan is helping families stay healthy with coverage for virtual doctor visits, flu shots, and access to over 140 hospitals in Michigan. McLaren Health Plan, the right plan for right now. Learn more at mclarenhealthplan.org. Warm and windy today, a wind advisory in effect 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., but we will enjoy the sunshine and the warmer temps. A high of 60 today, some clouds tonight. Low 50 to kick off the weekend on Friday, partly cloudy and a high of 62. Clear skies, 39 degrees. I'm Dana Clark, WJR News with Dick Hapner in about 3 minutes.
Well, wind, solar, electric cars, they all play a part in Michigan's green energy future. And so do we. Consumers Energy is committed to providing resources to help reduce energy waste because they recognize the first step to clean energy starts at home with an efficient appliance, an LED light bulb, or maybe even a new habit or two. Learn how you can help to protect the planet while lowering your energy bill at mycleanenergy.com. That's mycleanenergy.com. You can count on Consumer Energy.
Visit mymedicareuniversity.com to view our free webinar anytime or call 248-230-8595. Senior Health Medicare, trusted local experts.
Hi, I'm Connie Holzer. I wanted to take the time to thank you for supporting our dealership during these difficult times. Everyone at our dealership is extremely appreciative of your loyal support. We've taken every precaution to make sure that you have a safe and enjoyable experience at Tom Holzer Ford. So come see us at 10 Mile Haggerty and Farmington Hills. You know, we'll take great care of you as always. We appreciate you buying American, buying Ford, and buying from Tom Holzer Ford. Thank you.
My doctor says I need spine surgery. I'm terrified.
I've tried everything for my bad disc and nothing has helped.
One surgery has led to another. Don't let this happen to you. At the Disc Institute, our sole purpose is to keep you out of surgery by treating the cause, not just your symptoms. Our high-tech, non-invasive treatments are designed to fix your disc and avoid surgery. If your neck, back, or sciatic pain is due to herniated, degenerative, or bulging discs, call today, 586-416-DISC. That's 586-416-3472.
Detroit's News Talk.
Good morning.
760.
Temperature's going to rise.
If
you missed this,
J.
let me quickly ask you something.
R.
Is it just me?
Can they rescind their vote to certify the election? Two Republicans on the Wayne County Board of Canvassers want to do that. They're trying to rescind their vote to certify the county's election results. Monica Palmer and William Hartman, both Wayne County Republican activists, signed affidavits in an effort to rescind their yes votes, which they delivered earlier this week. They voted first not to certify the election results, and then were the targets of a heated meeting and charges of being racist by observers who were watching that meeting online. Then they both reversed their votes when the board asked for an audit of precincts where the numbers showed some discrepancies. The State Board of Canvassers has until next Monday to certify the election, and the Secretary of State says there's not going to be an audit of those results in Wayne County. President Trump and his team of lawyers continue legal challenges of the election results.
2 Pennsylvania lawsuits were halted Wednesday. They were followed by new motions the same day. A Wisconsin challenge moves on as the president's campaign pays $3 million for a recount in Milwaukee and Dane counties. Court clerk George Christensen says those counties were targeted
because they are Democratic strongholds. Milwaukee is a majority-minority city. This is just another form of voter suppression.
The president says had it not been for voter fraud that he alleges, he would have a second term. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
State of Michigan reports 5,772 new cases of the COVID-19 in Michigan and 62 more deaths. Michigan has recorded the 6th highest number of COVID cases in the last week, according to U.S. health officials. Coronavirus cases around the country, of course, have been rising. More than 170,000 new cases in the U.S. just on Wednesday alone. Do masks really work? A study of several thousand people in Denmark may have an answer. Dr. Frank McGeorge of the Henry Ford Health System had the results for Sean Belegian.
Basically, whether they're protective in regular people at a time in Denmark when most people were not actually wearing masks. At the end of 1 month, they basically found 40 people in the mask group were infected and 53 people in the control group or the no mask group were infected. So 40 and 53, which is actually not statistically different.
So Dr. McGeorge explains the study concludes that wearing a mask in public really doesn't help to protect the person wearing the mask, but he and the other health experts emphasize that wearing a mask can help protect others if you are the one carrying the virus. An accused co-conspirator of that domestic terror plot to kidnap Governor Whitmer in Wisconsin, appearing in court in Wisconsin, Brian Higgins, who is the 14th person charged in connection with that plot. High school sports will resume, including football, after the governor's restriction period, December 9th. That's according to the Michigan High School Athletic Association. The Detroit Pistons drafted a point guard from Europe, 19-year-old Killian Hayes, with the number 7 pick in the first round of the draft, and the Pistons got 2 more first-round picks after they made trades. On Wall Street, the Dow futures are down 139. I'm Dick Hafner, WJR News. More coming up with Sean Belegian.
Hey, Michigan, online sports betting is almost here. But wait, if you register your account early with FanDuel Sportsbook, you'll get $100 in free bets once they go live. No deposit required. Just sign up and verify your account and you're all set. $100 in free bets just for signing up early. No deposit required. No strings attached. You see for yourself why FanDuel Sportsbook is America's #1 sports betting app. Easy to use, tons of betting markets, safe and secure, fast payouts. Just sign up at FanDuel.com/100free to claim your $100 in free bets. That's $100 in free bets when you visit FanDuel.com/100free.
Must be 21 and over and present in Michigan. Bonus issued a non-withdrawable site credit that expires 7 days after FanDuel goes live in Michigan. $100 is distributed as $50 site credit on each of Sportsbook and Casino. Unique user ID verification required. Offer ends on go live day. Gambling problems? Call 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help.
It's happening. Publishers Clearinghouse is awarding a $2,500,000 mega prize in just days. Enter now at PCH.com, and your family could soon be celebrating the win of a lifetime. Don't miss your last chance to win the $2,500,000 mega prize. Go to PCH.com before it's too late. That's PCH.com. Better hurry. Enter at PCH.com now. Entries due 11/29. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited.
Buongiorno.
Buongiorno.
Buonasera.
Buonasera. How can I make the most of waiting for my next big vacation?
Translate your questions into goals by investing with Merrill Edge Self-Directed. It's more accessible than you think, with helpful planning tools plus free online stock and ETF trades, so you can keep practicing your pronunciation. Merrill, a Bank of America company. Visit merrilledge.com/withinreach to get started today.
Investing involves risk. Merrill Lynch, Pierce, Fenner & Smith Incorporated. Registered broker-dealer, member SIPC. Other fees may apply. Investment products are not FDIC insured or not bank guaranteed and may lose value.
You're hearing The Paul W. Smith Show. News Talk 760. WJR. Here's special guest host, Sean Baligian.
Okay, I want to make sure that I have your attention this morning at 7:35. Trans-Siberian Orchestra brings Christmas Eve and other stories directly into your home. This live stream event will take place on December 18th at 8 p.m. online at tsolivestream.com. Be caller 9 right now at 800-859-0957. That's 800-859-0957 to win free access to the show. For more info and to purchase tickets, visit WJR.com. Well, as we were talking about earlier this morning, it is going to be a Thanksgiving like, no other. There's no other way to say that. Easter was very strange. Thanksgiving is going to be strange, but some tips to still make it the most wonderful time of the year are going to be coming to you courtesy of our next guest, Michelle Gilbert, the Vice President of Public Relations for Comcast Cable Heartland Region, kindly joining us this morning. And Michelle, first of all, thanks so much for getting up with us and joining us this morning. How are you?
I'm doing great, Sean, and it is my pleasure to be with you this morning.
You know what? We need more of the perkiness and the joy that you're about to bring everybody, because this is going to be a different Thanksgiving, but you and the fine folks at Comcast have some tips where you can still make this a very, very enjoyable Thanksgiving.
Well, I hope so. I think that these are tips that everybody can figure out a way to integrate. And, you know, we've all been rolling through the punches with this. And I think that, by relying on technology and our own creativity, we can still make our Thanksgivings positive memories to always hold on to.
Well, I think first and foremost, and this is something learned behavior by yours truly, my kids kind of taught me this: check your Wi-Fi signal strength might be the first place to start, right, Michelle?
Yeah, well, I love that you're going right to that tip. That is the best tip. Yeah, so, listen, we've all been relying more than ever before on our Wi-Fi for working from home, schooling. If you're going to hold a virtual Thanksgiving and you're planning on connecting with other people, know where you're going to be doing the connecting and make sure you've got the right signal strength. And if you're going to be doing a lot of work in the kitchen, you need to be aware that certain appliances like stainless steel, microwaves, even our beautiful Corian countertops can cause interference. It doesn't mean you won't have a signal. It just means the signal may not be as great. So check that signal in advance by doing a speed test from the device you plan to be using in the room you plan to use it. And we offer our own speed test. It's speedtest.xfinity.com. Certainly there are others out there, so use whichever one you're most comfortable with.
It is amazing how you get to know where the dead zones are, where you should go and where you should not go. And that's something to take into consideration. I love this idea. Talk to us about the virtual host and how certainly Comcast can help with that.
Absolutely. Well, the first thing that you really want to do is pick a platform that is going to work for everyone, whether it's Zoom, FaceTime, people are using WhatsApp. There's even one called House Party that my kids have taught me about. And then figure out who's going to organize the event. And if you're going to be virtually gathering family from other households, make sure they know how to access the platform. You might even want to consider a dry run and help those who aren't as familiar with the technology understand, how do you turn the camera on? How do you turn the mic on? So that not everybody is necessarily talking at once, unless that's the way you structure it.
Like a real Thanksgiving thing, right?
Well, exactly.
Michelle Gilbert, Vice President, Public Relations, Comcast Cable Heartland Region. I do want to go back to the Wi-Fi for a second, because if you're planning that event, as Michelle suggests, you guys have a new X-Fi Pod 2.0. Can you tell everybody about that?
Yeah, so our X5 pads they're basically network extenders. And what they do is they're small little octagon devices that plug right into the wall. And what you do is you plug them into the wall to create a mesh network and expand that Wi-Fi signal to those hard to reach areas of the home. So, for example, a lot of people have created new areas where they're using all the time, whether it's the basement, a far off bedroom. So you can use these X5 pods to make the signal strength even more robust.
Love it. Love it. You know what? And quickly, in the remaining time that we have, this is something I cannot believe I haven't thought of this, being a sports fan first, but how about a virtual watch party with the Lions on Thanksgiving? How come I didn't think of that? Michelle, tell everybody how people can do that.
Yeah, well, listen, I mean, the Lions are probably one of the biggest Thanksgiving traditions that we have, and you can virtually watch by just getting everybody on the same page, watching the show together, or the game together, I should say, live tweeting, even having FaceTime up and talking about what they're doing, whether it's hopefully good this Thursday, and just enjoying the game together, even if you are in different households.
Great stuff, Michelle. Great tips. I wish you and yours the best this holiday season. Michelle Gilbert, Vice President, Public Relations, Comcast Cable Heartland Region. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, and you have a happy Thanksgiving, too.
Right back to you. Let's throw it to Dana now with a look at traffic and weather.
This report is sponsored by Compassion International.
We're all feeling the weight of COVID-19, but for kids in poverty this Christmas, things are desperate. Bring joy to a child when you make your special year-end gift to Compassion International. Just text GIFT to 83393. That's GIFT to 83393.
Traffic First sponsored by Ryba's Fudge Shop. Make Ryba's your one-stop shop for all your business and corporate gifts. Appreciate, thank, and impress your clients, employees, colleagues, vendors, and loved ones with a gift box of creamy, delicious Mackinac Island fudge. Visit ryba.com to complete your shopping today. 96 eastbound after Beck Road. Earlier accident is clear. 75 northbound still shut down between Southfield Road and Outer Drive. 50-minute backup there. This accident resulting in a closure involving a semi. It's on its side that ruptured its fuel tank. So crews are on the scene cleaning the spill. Please avoid that area altogether. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Must Construction Careers. Earn while you learn in a union apprenticeship and graduate debt-free. We need qualified, motivated individuals to help us build Michigan. Must Construction Careers, Management, and Union serving together. Learn more at mustcareers.org.
A brief cold snap now going away near seasonable temperatures today, warmer tomorrow. A few clouds, otherwise clear this morning. Some with a few clouds later, 45. Tonight, some clouds in town, about 37. Suburbs a little cooler. Thursday, the wind picks up. Clouds, sunshine close to 60. We could get into the mid-60s on Friday. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Staging on News Talk 760 WJR.
For over 100 years, Apsopure has remained committed to serving communities throughout Michigan. And now, in your changed work environment, Apsopure is ready to serve you just as they always have. Apsopure is dedicated to providing offices with top-notch refreshment and top-notch service. They offer a variety of bottled waters for office delivery, including natural spring, steam distilled, and vapor distilled with electrolytes. And each variety comes in an assortment of sizes, ranging from individual bottles to 5-gallon jugs. And refreshment doesn't stop at water. Apsopure is your go-to provider for a delicious assortment of coffee and coffee goods to power your workday. Whether it's by the pot or by the cup, they have the brand you love with the service you expect. Let Apsopure make staying hydrated and fueled the easiest part of getting back to business. Visit apsopure.com/WJR or call 1-800-4-APSOPURE to learn more about Apsopure products and to sign up for safe, convenient, zero-contact delivery service. That's apsopure.com/WJR or call 800-4-APSOPURE.
We're committed to keeping Michigan moving forward. We teamed up with Oakland University to ensure students started the semester with confidence, built back-to-work plans with 24/7 support to help keep Big 3 employees on the job. and helped Lear Corporation with COVID-19 testing to bring workers back safely. Beaumont Employer Services has a plan for you, too. Find out how we can be your safety net at beaumontemployerservices.org.
Talking with Michelle Wildman from the MEDC. And Michelle, tell us a little bit about the MEDC.
The MEDC is the lead agency responsible for marketing Michigan and supporting vibrant, diverse, and sustainable communities. We're made up of a group of talented individuals who care about the state and are passionate about the state's economic potential. We're committed to investing in our communities to grow jobs and create vibrant places to live while aiming to provide equitable economic opportunity for all Michiganders.
Tell us about the Redevelopment Ready Communities program.
Well, the Redevelopment Ready Communities program is a set of best practices that communities can use for planning. RRC can act as a pipeline for the Michigan Main Street candidates by identifying communities that are poised for downtown place management best practices and could benefit from the additional support that the Michigan Main Street can provide. That formal recognition that a community has a vision for the future and the fundamental practices are in place that make it right for future development.
Michelle, what kind of support can the MEDC give to local communities to support their vision of a reality?
One of the exciting programs that we have is called the Public Spaces for Community Places crowdfunding initiative to democratize public funding, making it accessible for everyone and encouraging members of each community to play a part in securing that funding to help improve their shared quality of life.
Learn more about the MEDC. Go to miplace.org and hear this entire interview with Michelle at wjr.com/MEDC.
Stay on the right track to 9 Mile and Mac.
During the holiday season, the Roy O'Brien Ford family would like to give thanks to its long-standing loyal customers and their hardworking dealership team. Roy O'Brien now makes it easy to review all their holiday deals online and fast-track your next Ford purchase by visiting royobrien.com. Roy O'Brien Ford, where friends have been sending friends for over 74 years.
Roy O'Brien has the best deal around.
This is Darren McCarty, 4-time Stanley Cup champion of your Detroit Red Wings. And after 15 years in the NHL, I love playing hockey with all my heart and soul. But guys, let's be honest, the way that I play, it's tough on your body. And when it's tough on your body, it's emotionally tough. It's physically tough. The one thing that I've learned, if you can control your pain, life is good. My back was shot. I have to admit it. Sometimes the pain affected my body, affected my soul. Being a super positive person, it's a tough thing to walk around with pain. And I know that I'm no different than any of you out there. But what I did is I walked into Pain-Free Life Centers in Troy. They're FDA-approved, high-intensity, high-dose laser therapy. Got rid of my back pain with no drugs, no shots, no surgery, no side effects. Pain-Free Life Centers is so confident they can help you. Your consultation and first treatment are totally free. If it worked on my back, it'll work for you. Call 248-879-1100 or go to painfreelifecenters.com. Check out my story. Tell them D-Max sent you.
You're hearing the Paul W. Smith Show, News Talk 760, WJR. Here's special guest host, Sean Baligian.
Well, I want to throw congratulations out there to my old stomping ground. Sandy from Livonia won the first giveaway to the Trans-Siberian Orchestra. Christmas Eve and other stories, which will be live streamed right into your home. So congratulations to Sandy from Livonia. Proud Livonia Stevenson product with you this morning. There will be 2 more chances before the end of the show for you to get TSO in your house. Once again, December 18th at 8 o'clock. Online at tsolivestream.com. So certainly be listening for that. You know, Dave Rieger, I have to quickly, while we have a moment, talk about something that our last guest was talking about. And I couldn't think of a better person to chat to than perhaps you about this. Have you ever been a part of a virtual watch party? Is that something you have ever taken, part of? I mean, in case people don't know, Dave Rieger is a big, and I mean big, Denver Bronco fan. And have you ever thought about getting together with some fellow Bronco fans in a corral, if you will?
How did I know that the corral was going to get brought up?
And watching the Broncos on a a Monday night game, a playoff game, or anything like that. Is that something that would intrigue you?
That might be cool. I've always traveled to see the Broncos in person, so I've never. I guess I've watched with other fans in person and with other, I guess you'd say, enemies in opposing stadiums. But with COVID numbers being so high, maybe a watch party would be called for. Yeah,
it would be
cool. Yeah,
it's you know what, and I guess because you're in the same boat as I am. Listen, I haven't been home, quote unquote, home on Thanksgiving in 26 years. Like honestly, there was a period of time when my buddies and I back in Livonia turned 16. We just made it a point to go to the Lions game on Thanksgiving. That's just what we did. So we would go to the Lion games. And then I remember there was one year, it was 1994, where I was actually home for Thanksgiving. And like my family was like, "You're not going to the game today? Whoa." And literally since then, starting in 1995, I have either been at the game, doing a show on television, or doing a show on radio. So I haven't had the opportunity to be home and commiserate with my family and everything. But I think a lot of people in the listening audience can relate to this. And Dave, even as a Bronco fan, you can relate to this. We all have our moments of just shaking our heads on Thanksgiving. My earliest memory of Thanksgiving is, and I think longtime Lion fans would remember this, was 1980 when the Lions were leading the Bears 17-10 late. The Bears scored on literally the last play of the game to tie it, and then returned the opening kickoff into overtime for a touchdown.
I do remember that.
I was beside myself with devastation. I really and truly I was. As a little kid, you can't handle it as you do as an adult. And some people might argue we handle it worse as adults, but that's a story for a different day. But I'll never forget this because my dad and my grandfather both burst into laughter. And I think that made me angrier than the event itself. And I wouldn't dare ask my dad what was funny. So I went to, my kindly grandfather and I said, "Grandpa, what's funny about that? I'm devastated. Like, don't you care?" And I'll never forget this, Dave, because he said to me, he was like, "Sean, it's the Lions. You'll understand it one day." And by golly, we sure do. We love them. That's my team. I'm never going to deviate from that. But I think as a collective fan base, we've had so many moments like that it is enjoyable when you get a chance to, be together, whether it be your family, your friends, or whatever. And this year you might not have that opportunity. So like when Michelle was talking about the whole idea of doing something, virtually, I'm intrigued. Rieger, we might have to do an experiment to that sometime. Are you in? Grab a few of the guys that we know and see if we can watch a game sometime and do an experiment to see how well that would work.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you, though. This is my second time around working with the Lions broadcast. I worked with the Lions broadcast, at an earlier radio station. So I've spent a lot of Thanksgivings with the Lions also. And I'd have to say the one that I remember vividly, though, is the Indianapolis Colts with Peyton Manning at quarterback at that time. That game, that was you might shut off your virtual camera if you were watching that game with your family, because I don't know if they'd want to see your reaction to that one. So yeah,
that just got ugly and stayed ugly.
I think he's still throwing touchdown passes. So.
A few years later, too, sorry to go down bad memory lane. Do you remember when Tennessee came in 2008 and every running back ran for 500 yards that day? I mean, it didn't matter who they had. I mean, they just ran all over the Lions. But I don't care what anybody says. I mean, that's our team. I'm always going to support our team.
And I mean, the it seems like the Detroit Lions here in Detroit and Thanksgiving, they just go hand in hand. It's just that's tradition.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I tell you what, even as an adult, because growing up for people around here, my kids never got into it. Maybe it's a generational thing, but the day started with watching the Detroit parade on television and, and then turning on the Lions and later the Cowboys and everything. My kids never got into watching the parade, but I can't tell you how cool it was for me once they moved to Ford Field. I had to go like around the parade route to get to where we did our television show. I was part of the Fox 2 Lions game day show. And to see the parade in person, I felt like a kid every single time. It's magical in Detroit on Thanksgiving morning. No doubt about that. We've got one more hour of the show to go. Dana Clark with traffic and weather here on 760 WJR.
This report is sponsored by Compassion International.
We're all feeling the weight of COVID-19, but for kids in poverty this Christmas, things are desperate. Bring joy to a child when you make your special year-end gift to Compassion International. Just text GIFT to 83393. That's GIFT to 83393.
Well, we do have good news, Sean, that earlier closure along 75 northbound between Southfield Road and Outer Drive, that incident is clear. All lanes are reopened, but you are still looking at least 55-minute backup. Traffic is delayed from at least Allen Road. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Gordon Chevrolet. Gordon Chevrolet has Black Friday deals all month long, Cyber Cash, a lease pull-ahead program with up to $1,500 in loyalty bonus cash and leases starting under $200 a month. Extended hours Black Friday, Saturday, and Monday. Ford Road, just west of Merriman in Garden City. GordonChevrolet.com. Gordon Chevrolet, find new roads. We are expecting it to be a little bit of a warm-up today, but windy conditions. Wind advisory in effect 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., but we will see some sun, some clouds, and we'll hit 60 tonight. Cloudy skies, low 50 on Friday. We keep the warm trend, partly cloudy and a high of 62. Clear skies, 39 degrees. I'm Dana Clark, WJR News with Dick Hafner in about 2 minutes.
Time to get your fix of Lions news. Here's Lions Daily with WJR's Steve Courtney.
Your Detroit Lions at 4-5, getting set for the 3-7 Carolina Panthers. That'll be in Carolina. Meanwhile, defensive coordinator Corey Unlund not sure if quarterback Teddy Bridgewater or running back Christian McCaffrey will be available for the Panthers, but the planning goes on.
Doing a good job, mixing a lot of things in there. I think you can see some reflections definitely from LSU and his time in college and the stuff that he was doing there. And then, he spent some time with Sean Payton in New Orleans. So you can definitely see some of that in there too with the personnel groups and all that. But I think he's got a great feel of it.
It's the Lions and Panthers Sunday at 1. That means we're with you at 10, right here on Lions Radio.
That's Lions Daily on Lions Radio, 760 WJR.
Walsh is more than a business school. We're an accelerator, a think tank, an incubator for ideas. We're the fuel you need to take that next step, where leaders are made and where barriers are broken. Well, you'll learn from proven business minds who have been there and done that. This is not your typical business program, because Walsh is not your typical business school. Apply now at walshcollege.edu.
At Donors Choose, we want students and teachers to have the tools they need for a great education. And now, more than ever, they need your support. Learn more at donorschoose.org.
Donors Choose. Support a classroom. Build a future.
Detroit's News Talk.
Good morning.
760.
Temperature's going to rise.
If you missed this,
J.
Let me quickly ask you something.
Is
it just me?
WJR Detroit and WDVD HD2 Detroit. The great voice of the Great Lakes. 760 WJR, where Detroit comes to talk.
2 Wayne County election officials want to reverse their votes, certifying the election results. The vote came earlier this week. They say they were promised that an audit of some precincts would take place, and that's why they reversed their votes to say yes to certify the election results in Wayne County. But now the Secretary of State says the audit will not take place Here's more.
There were these Republicans in Wayne County that simply said they would not vote to certify the vote there because they felt like there were so many voting irregularities. Then after a pressure campaign, they then said they would go ahead and vote to certify. That is provided that the Secretary of State in the state of Michigan would authorize an audit of the votes in Wayne County. Well, that has now changed again. They're rescinding their agreement to certify the vote. Monica Palmer, she says, later that evening, I was sent statements that Secretary Jocelyn Benson made saying that she did not view our audit resolution to be binding.
The two Republican board members said they felt threatened and intimidated by the accusations that they were racists when they voted no. The Secretary of State, Jocelyn Benson, says all of the 83 counties in Michigan have voted to certify, and the State Board of Canvassers will meet next Monday for a final decision. President Trump's team is paying $3 million for a partial recount in the state of Wisconsin. The state health department reports 5,772 new cases of the COVID and 62 more deaths in Michigan. A study of thousands of people in Denmark on whether wearing a mask in public really works makes this conclusion.
Wearing a mask when outside the home did not reduce the incidence of SARS-CoV-2 infection. So the question is, what's the takeaway? This study really helps make the point that masks are not bulletproof barriers that protect the wearer 100%. That's kind of the bottom line.
That's Dr. Frank McGeorge of the Henry Ford Health System speaking with Sean Baligian. He points out the study showed that wearing a mask does not give any special protection for the wearer, but for others. So if the other people are wearing a mask, that can protect you. Over 900 Mayo Clinic staff in the Midwest have contracted the COVID in the past 2 weeks. The Mayo Clinic says that they're concerned about the health of their staff and whether they can care for the patients enough. Nearly all have come from community exposure, not in the hospital. Some retailers are warning that many favorite products may not be in the stores because the pandemic has impacted global supply chains. High school sports, including football, will resume in Michigan after the end of the governor's restrictions period. That is December 9th. The Pistons drafted a point guard, Killian Hayes, who's been playing in Europe with the number 7 pick in the first round of the NBA draft last night. And then the Pistons traded around and they got 2 more first-round picks. They received the 16 pick and they drafted the University of Washington center Isaiah Stewart, who was a mainstay for the Washington team last season. And the Pistons then made a trade for the Clippers and got the number 19 pick, and they drafted a shooting guard, Sadiq Bey, from Villanova. On Wall Street, the Dow futures are down sharply after a loss yesterday. I'm Dick Hafner, WJR News. More coming up with Sean Baligian.
This is your chance to win $100 and be entered to win the grand prize of $25,000. Just text the national keyword GREEN to 95819. That's GREEN to 95819. Do it now. We'll text you back to confirm your entry. Data and messaging rates may apply. It's the $25,000 workday payday on 760 WJR.
George Kleppert here of Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical, reminding you to call us for all your furnace and air conditioning and electrical needs. We also install and service full house natural gas generators, water heaters, and we do a variety of electrical services too. With 3 Metro Detroit locations, we'll service you quickly and professionally. Go online at familyheating.com. Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. That's familyheating.com.
Paul W. here. Thanksgiving is around the corner, but not everyone in Metro Detroit is celebrating. Thousands of children, seniors, and families will struggle to put food on the table. WJR and the Chilani Family Foundation have launched Hunger Free in the D, a 3-week matching gift campaign to support the Capuchin Soup Kitchen and Gleaners Community Food Bank to provide 500,000 meals to struggling families during the holidays.
Here's the Chilani Family Foundation's Tom Chilani.
The partnership between Capuchins and Gleaners is very strong. They help out a lot of people, and I felt it was good that Vicki and I and our foundation get behind the two of them. So over the last 5 years, the Chilani Family Foundation has been able to donate over $500,000, but we've been able to raise with that $500,000 close to $1.7 million. So that is what the power of WJR, Paul W. Smith, and our foundation has been able to do.
Join us to help out. Visit hungerfreeinthed.com or call 313-254-4788.
Learn all about heart attack, stroke prevention, artery disease, and how to beat the widowmaker from Dr. Brian Colander, MD, arteriologist and internal medicine specialist, tonight at 7:05 p.m. on News Talk 760 WJR.
The Paul W. Smith Show, News Talk 760 WJR. Here's special guest host, Sean Baligian.
Well, so glad you could join us. Final hour of the show here on a Thursday morning. Sean Baligian sitting in for Paul W. Paul will be back on Monday. In the meantime, I want to give you another opportunity. Trans-Siberian Orchestra brings Christmas Eve and other stories directly into your home. This live stream event will take place on December 18th at 8 p.m. online at tsolivestream.com. Be caller 9 right now at 800-859-0957 to win free access to the show. That's 800-859-0957. For more info and to purchase tickets, visit WJR.com. Well, the news isn't good. You heard Dick talking about it on the news all morning. We've been touching on it all morning as well. State health officials telling you point blank, hey, look, this isn't good in our fair state right now. Michigan, number 5 in the nation for COVID-19 deaths, number 6 for cases in ICU patients. To help us make sense of this morning, kindly joining us, Dr. Matthew Sims, Director of Infectious Disease Research at Beaumont Royal Oak. And Dr. Sims, first and foremost, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Happy to.
Dr. Sims, when you hear this stuff, you just shake your head. I'm sure you guys more than anybody having to deal with this on a day-by-day basis. COVID fatigue is real, but what's your reaction when you hear things like that?
You know, it's frustrating. Again, I read the article that referred to that. I think that's referring to literally cases over the last week. As I read the article, if you look at cases since the beginning, we're a little further down the list, not much further down. One back in March, April, we were number 3 in the country of number of cases. But with everything that was put into play by the governor and the Department of Health, we quickly dropped down into, the mid-teens area. I'm not sure where our lowest number was, but, now when you look at like overall from the beginning of the pandemic in the United States, I think we're number 11 for cases and number 10 for deaths, and now, but what the data over the last week says is that we're rising faster than, our overall standing. And that's frustrating when, we were getting better.
What can we do to reverse this? Because, doctor, I'm not trying to smooch on you or anything, but I think people are more apt to listen to a doctor than they are a politician, regardless of party affiliation or anything like that. But when the doctors speak, you're more apt to listen to a doctor. Is there anything we can do that you urge people to do to help reverse this?
Absolutely. It's not rocket science. I repeat the same mantra every time, right? There's standard things we do to keep this under control. Masking, social distancing, hand hygiene. If you're sick, stay home. Cough etiquette. Get tested if you need to. These are the things. That's it. There's no magic here. Those things work. And the things that broke those things from working are people refusing the mask, everything opening up and going beyond what they really need to limit to. A lot of people who are doing sort of small group things. So while small groups are better than large groups, they're not zero risk. And as community spread gets higher, if you have a group, let's say you and have a group of, 5 or 6 friends that you get together with now and again. You say, we're all doing everything that's right, so we can get together safely and maybe have a meal together. And, you get together and you socialize and you sort of keep your distance, but not really. And you all sit down at the table, take off your masks and eat and talk and whatnot. Well, if one of those people has COVID, they are going to spread it to everybody else. Now, the problem is, you have a group of 5 or 6 people, but your friend in the group has a different group of 5 or 6 people, which includes you, and the next person in the group has a different group of 5 or 6 people, which includes you, and so, on Wednesday, you're with one group of 5 or 6, but on Thursday, one of that group is with a different group of people, and all it takes is one person in this network of groups to get COVID and start spreading it among the groups, and they've shown that this sort of thing is happening, and this is part of what's spreading it. It's again, people have to, everybody's tired. Nobody wants to have to stay home. People want to see their friends. People want to socialize. People want to go to the movies and go to the restaurants. I get it. I understand it. I'm right there with you. It's just right now not safe to do. And all the numbers going up is showing that.
Dr. Sims, one of the things that jump out to me, and this is something that I'm sure you deal with on a daily basis. I can't tell you how many times I've heard somebody say, I've done everything right. I've washed my hands. Look, this thing can still get you, correct?
It can. So just yesterday, I got an email from a doctor I know saying, he had heard a talk I gave and said, that was a great talk. I'm actually home recovering from COVID and I have no idea how I got it. And then he said, maybe I got it, from a patient. It's not, he's not sure. But, the thing is, masks work. They're not perfect. We published a paper showing that masks work just recently, but they're not perfect. Mm-hmm. Things get through, and especially surgical masks and cloth masks, they're not perfect. That's why, if one person's wearing the mask, it reduces the transmission so much. If both people who are in a contact are wearing masks, it reduces it more. But even there, they're not perfect. If everybody were wearing it, could wear N95s, it would be better, but that's an impossible thing.
Great stuff this morning, Doctor. Stay the course. Dr. Matthew Sims, Director of Infectious Disease Research at Beaumont Royal Oak. Appreciate the knowledge and wish you all the best this holiday season, sir.
Well, thank you very much. Good luck. Stay safe.
Right back at you. Dr. Matthew Sims kindly joining us. Let's take a look at traffic and weather here on 760 WJR. Here's Dana.
This report is sponsored by the Exergen Temporal Scanner. These may be uncertain times, but what is certain is that every family needs a reliable thermometer. Protect your family with the Exergen Temporal Scanner, the only home thermometer used and recommended by hospitals, physicians, and clinics. Stay safe with Exergen.
That once again, earlier collision involving a semi, Sean, that had 75 northbound shut down between Southfield Road and Outer Drive. It is clear, starting to see traffic move a little bit better in that area. John R. south of 8 Mile, new accident just reported by police, and also seeing some brake lights 75 northbound between Outer Drive and Spring Wells. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Reamer Floors. The latest in waterproof flooring technology is on sale now at Reamer Floors. Save 30% on Empower by Armstrong Flooring. Featuring a reinforced mineral core and superior scratch resistance, visit reamerfloors.com to schedule your shop at home or in-store appointment.
Great, a good-looking day today. Now milder weather back after being stuck in the 30s yesterday. Milder means seasonable, 45, sunshine with a few clouds. Tonight, drop back to 37. Tomorrow, the wind picks up out of the south. We're close to 60 with a mix of clouds and sunshine. Friday, even milder, a mix of clouds and sunshine, 65. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stagicom, News Talk 760 WJR.
Hey, folks, this year we've all been taking actions to keep ourselves and our loved ones healthy, like wearing a face covering, minimizing contact with others whenever we're out in public. And now that flu season is upon us, my friends at Blue Cross Blue Shield at Michigan, Want to remind everyone that there's never been a more important time to get the flu shot. It's a smart, safe, and simple way to protect yourself as well as everyone around you. By keeping people healthy from seasonal illnesses like the flu, we can reduce the strain placed on healthcare resources and allow healthcare workers to continue to focus their efforts in the fight against COVID-19. So this flu season, give it a shot. You can get one at your doctor's office or a participating pharmacy. There also may be additional resources available within your community or through your place of employment. Plus, if you're a Blue Cross or Blue Care Network member, you can get a flu shot at no cost. So help do your part in keeping everybody in Michigan healthy and give it a shot. Learn more at bcbsm.com/preventflu.
This is health reporter Lila Lazarus. Every 40 seconds, someone in this country has a heart attack. Even in a pandemic, if you have an urgent situation, St. Joe's emergency rooms are safe and open 24/7. Avoiding the ER or delaying needed procedures could have dire repercussions. St. Joe's has many measures in place to ensure safety of patients and staff, with testing protocols, proper sanitation, and protective equipment. You are safe at St. Joe's. If you have symptoms of a heart attack or stroke, the advice is still the same. Call 911. For St. Joe's, I'm Lila Lazarus.
Stay on the right track to 9 Mile at Night.
During the holiday season, the Roy O'Brien Ford family would like to give thanks to its long-standing loyal customers and their hardworking dealership team. Roy O'Brien now makes it easy to review all their holiday deals online and fast-track your next Ford purchase by visiting royobrien.com. Roy O'Brien Ford, where friends have been sending friends for over 74 years.
Roy O'Brien has the best deal around.
Thinking about life insurance? Did you know in just a few minutes you can find the best price from up to 10 price competitive companies for free? You can with SelectQuote. For example, George is 39. He was getting sky-high quotes from other companies because he takes meds to control his blood pressure. But when I shopped around, I found him a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $22 a month. I'm SelectQuote agent Dan Savino, and believe me, if SelectQuote isn't shopping for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For your free quote, call 800-890-6688. That's 800-890-6688. 800-890-6688. Or go to SelectQuote.com. Since 1985, we shop, you save.
Get full details on the example policy at SelectQuote.com/commercials. Your price could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
You're hearing The Paul W. Smith Show. News Talk 760 WJR. Here's special guest host, Sean Baligian.
Glad you could join us, 8:18 on a Thursday morning. Paul W. will be back on Monday. That I know. We have one more giveaway this morning coming up at, well, I'm not going to tell you when. How about this? Be listening in the next 25 minutes. How's that? To tickets to the virtual Trans-Siberian Orchestra event. By the way, Mr. Rieger, Sean from Romulus was the winner of the second giveaway. We will give another giveaway very, very soon to see TSO. Mr. Rieger, I have a very important question, though, about Sean. Does he spell his name the correct way?
S-E-A-N. Yes.
That's the only way to spell it. So he does indeed. So congratulations, Sean, not only on spelling your name the right way, but winning those tickets. We'll have another opportunity for you to win the tickets as well. Coming up in the next 25 minutes, going to chat with a buddy of mine, does a fantastic job for the Detroit News. Also, my broadcast partner on Wayne State broadcasts on television, Rod Beard. Lots to try to unpack from the Pistons draft last night. Can't deny that Troy Weaver's taking a different path and a different tack from the way that the Pistons have operated in years gone by. And then we'll check in with Chief Craig coming up at about 8:48 today, talking about that spike within the Detroit Police Department. If anybody can talk about that, I believe Chief Craig can, because he's dealt with it himself. So we'll separate fact and fiction when we talk to Chief Craig for sure. A term that's come up a lot this morning, and you know what, Dave, I want to ask you and I want to ask Danielle, because I think I know the answer. But if I was to say to you COVID fatigue, what are you most fatigued over? Is there anything in particular that you're most fatigued over? Because listen, I'll say it, I'm tired of the silly blame game. I mean, we are just absolutely positively destroying ourselves, eating ourselves alive. Okay, people pointing the finger there, people pointing the finger there. This is a virus, period, end of story. I don't know how else to say that, but what is your COVID fatigue? Do you have a COVID fatigue?
I have two things.
All right.
that number one is, and they're kind of comparable, but if you're going to go into a store and wear a mask, cover your mouth and your nose. Okay. I see all these people walking around and they just have their mouth covered. Okay. Do both. Just cover the whole thing. I don't understand what that's about. And then also wear a mask if you're going to go into a store. Don't complain about it, but understand, these are the rules. So I'm fatigued about that. I'm fatigued about seeing people not fully wearing the mask, number one, and number two, complaining about having to wear a mask to go in.
Dave, this goes back to when you and I were doing shows in the summer together. I just do not understand the people that want to plant their flag on Mask Mountain. It doesn't make sense to me. I'm sorry. It just doesn't, and all I can do is speak for me. I hope to the good Lord above, I never speak for anybody else. Okay. But while I'm speaking for me, I have to wear a mask maybe 10 minutes a day. Maybe. If I go to the gas station, I put my mask on. If I run to the store for something, I put my mask on. I've tried to reason with people about this and say, is that really the mount that you want to die on? Is personal freedom mountain from wearing a mask for 5 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day? Now, again, there might be some people that work in a job or at a place where they have to wear it all the time. And certainly that shouldn't be directed at you. But I am somebody that, for me personally, it's just not a big deal. It's a couple minutes here, a couple minutes there. I did, Dave, I don't know if you remember this, when we had the conversation, I literally kept track when you and I were working one day, the amount of time that I had to wear a mask. And I don't know if you remember this, it was literally 3 minutes. I had to wear a mask 3 minutes of my day. And I come on, I'm not going to complain about that. Now, again, let me be crystal clear. I'm sure I'm not speaking for you. I'm sure that there are people out there that you have to wear it for hours at a time. I can't imagine how miserable that would be. I can't. I mean, in a myriad of ways. Look, I don't like to wear it for 3 minutes. But I'm with you, Dave. I'm going to wear it out of respect for others. I'm not worried about me. I'm not going to lie. I'm not worried about me. I'm just not. But God forbid I give you COVID, or Danielle or Dana or Dick or anybody. That would really, really bother me. So I don't know. I just kind of look at it as a respect thing, and trying to be nice to others. Is that the best way to say it?
Yeah. And, and why, these are the rules that are in place. So just follow the rules, keep everybody safe. There's no need to get angry. There's no need to get into arguments. If they tell you that you're not allowed into the business because you're not wearing a mask, well, then Go put a mask on for the short period of time that you may be in there. I don't know about you, but I don't want to spend any time in a grocery store longer than I have to. I'm going to run in, I'll put my mask on, I'll get what I need to get, and then I'll get out of there. But there's no need to try to argue with them. And also, it annoys me with the mask not over the nose. It's just a pet peeve.
So silly. Paul talked about something. Steamed up glasses can't see. That's real. I don't
know.
care. It's real.
As
somebody that wears glasses, it's, you know what? I have taken to not wearing my glasses for months because that's real. That's just something you have to deal with. I wish I could find a foolproof way. I've heard so many different theories. None of them have worked for me, but that's the way it is.
Well,
but Paul, you bring up a great point.
Thanks to LASIK surgery back in 2002, I don't have to deal with the glasses anymore.
You know what's funny, Dave? I kid you not. I never had glasses, and then I wore glasses for like 3.5 years, and I think my eyesight is not fixed, but better since I've worn glasses. I can tell you this, I can see a heck of a lot better without them than I could 3 years ago when I got them. It's kind of crazy how that works out. We've got the final half hour of the show. Go ahead, Dave.
Well, as you know, on the weekends when we work football together, and I can see you performing your tasks, and I know when you're doing a really good job, and I know when you're a little off the mark because my eyesight is very, very good.
Well played there. I can kick field goals all day. We've got traffic with Dana Clark here on 760 WJR.
This report is sponsored by the Exergen Temporal Scanner. Fever is the leading sign of COVID-19. Use an accurate thermometer for twice daily checks. Protect your loved ones with the Exergen Temporal Scanner. It takes an accurate reading in seconds and is the only home thermometer recommended by hospitals, physicians, and clinics. Stay safe with Exergen.
Just watching one accident out there right now, Sean. It's on John R. south of 8 Mile. Not seeing a big delay from that one, just backed up for a few minutes. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by TruTech Concrete Coatings. You've heard of Rhino Shield. Now, Mark and Cheryl bring you a TruTech concrete coatings. Make your basement, garage doors, porch, or patio beautiful in 1 day, 4 times stronger than epoxy, 15-year warranty, and antibacterial. Call today. Get your project done before the holidays. 810-487-8832. Warm and windy today at temp hitting 60 degrees. Some sun, some clouds mixed all day tonight. Cloudy skies. Your low 50, partly cloudy on Friday and a high of 62. Clear skies, 39 degrees. I'm Dana Clark, WJR News with Dick Hafner in 2 minutes.
How did we ever come to the belief that we have no control over the inevitability of heart attack or stroke? That it was somehow predestined in our genes, inherited, or inevitable due to some random chance that outsmarted the medical field? We've come to accept these two fallacies, but the fact is that heart attack and stroke are 100% preventable, and cardiac disease is reversible. It's not in the genes, it's in your profile. It's time to take charge of your health. Call Dr. Brian Collender at 866-KOLENDER.
Paul W. here. Thanksgiving is around the corner, but not everyone in Metro Detroit is celebrating. Thousands of children, seniors, and families will struggle to put food on the table. WJR and the Chilani Family Foundation have launched Hunger Free in the D.
I'm Tom Middlebrun with NECA, the National Electrical Contractors Association here in southeastern Michigan. And we are proud to partner with WJR and the Chilani Family Foundation for the annual Hunger Free in the D, supporting the Capuchin Soup Kitchen and Gleaners Community Food Bank.
A 3-week matching gift campaign to support the Capuchin Soup Kitchen and Gleaners Community Food Bank to provide 500,000 meals to struggling families during the holidays.
Let's make sure everyone gets a good meal, especially during the holidays. Let's all support Hunger Free in the D. Visit hungerfreeinthed.com and give today.
Join us to help out. Go to hungerfreeinthed.com or call 313-254-4788. That's hungerfreeinthed.com or call 313-254-4788.
For 60 years, Mesa has delivered exceptional health benefits to Michigan schools and public employees. Mesa believes hardworking people who care for our kids, schools, and communities deserve unmatched health benefits and personal service. Learn more at messa.org.
The Wayne County Board of Canvassers, normally an obscure body are at the center of a major political controversy. 2 Republican members initially refused to certify the vote this week due to variances in the count, and what followed was 2 hours of heated comments in which the 2 GOP members were targets of accusations of being racists, and they voted to approve the certification under the condition that the state Secretary of State investigate irregularities. Well, now the Secretary of State, Jocelyn Benson, says there will be no audit. She's been very critical of President Trump, and the 2 Republicans say they want to rescind their vote to approve. Mayor Duggan goes after the Republicans and the Trump campaign.
We have a state of Michigan board of canvassers, and if the Trump campaign tries the same kind of tactics there as we saw in Wayne County, the votes of the people of this state are still at risk. So I would say to the people of Detroit and the people of Michigan, you need to be vigilant. You need to be online, paying attention to what the State Board of Canvassers does.
Discrepancies were discovered in Detroit, Inkster, and in Livonia. Health officials report 5,772 new cases of the COVID-19 and 62 additional deaths in Michigan. The pandemic is causing big changes to the job market, some of which may be here forever.
Some jobs crushed by the pandemic won't be making a comeback anytime soon, if ever. That's the conclusion from research by the job search site Glassdoor. Among the jobs taking the worst hits are those in education, sales, office administration, and low-skilled service. Glassdoor chief economist Dr. Andrew Chamberlain says, compared to past downturns, this pandemic-induced recession has shifted consumer behavior and workplace habits in what could last for decades. Carmen Roberts, Fox News.
U.S. regulators have okayed the use of the first rapid coronavirus test that can be performed entirely at home. University of Michigan will pay $9.2 million to 8 women who reported emotional or sexual abuse at the hands of Dr. Martin Filbert, who was a dean and then became provost of the university, the number 2 official at the U of M. Provost resigned this year. He's not been charged with a crime. GM is getting into the car insurance business. GM OnStar will offer insurance next year. Apple has agreed to a settlement of $113 million to big corporate parties who sued Apple for deliberately slowing down older iPhones by sending them software updates that were bad for the phones. Joe Biden promises to improve relations between the U.S. and Cuba by reversing Trump administration policies. That has gotten the attention of the Cuban-American community in the Miami area, which is against Castro and the communist rulers of Cuba. This Florida Republican Congressman, Mario Diaz-Balart.
I worry that his history will come back, what he's wanting to do for almost 5 decades, which is to betray the best allies of the United States, as he and Obama did in front of the UN with Israel, and then help our enemies, help the enemies of freedom, help legitimize the dictatorships in the Western Hemisphere.
Stock market futures are down sharply after a 300-plus loss on the Dow yesterday. I'm Dick Hafner, WJR News. More coming up with Sean Balegian.
This Sunday, there will be a massive piano sale featuring pianos used at Wayne State University's Department of Music for the past year. All Kawai and Yamaha grand, upright, and digital pianos will be sold for a fraction of the price you would normally pay. For the best price and selection prior to Sunday, a preview appointment is strongly recommended by calling 313-829-0773. That's 313-829-0773. Special financing and delivery will be available from Evola Music. To ensure the best selection and price, schedule your preview and purchase appointment now by calling 313-829-0773. Don't miss this opportunity to save thousands of dollars on the piano your family deserves at Wayne State University's piano sale, hosted Sunday off campus in Bloomfield Hills. For scheduling and directions, call 313-829-0773. That's 313-829-0773.
Hey, Michigan, I've been waiting a long time to say this. Online sports betting is almost here. But wait, I've got even more good news. If you register an account early with FanDuel Sportsbook, you will get $100 in free bets once they do go live. There's no deposit required. Just sign up, verify your account, you're all set. See for yourself why FanDuel Sportsbook is America's #1 sports betting app. Easy to register, easy to deposit, easy to find your bet. Fast withdrawals, too, when you win. You get your money fast. Just sign up at FanDuel.com/100free to claim your $100 in free bets. That's $100 in free bets when you visit FanDuel.com/100free.
Must be 21 and over and present in Michigan. Bonus issued a non-withdrawable site credit that expires 7 days after FanDuel goes live in Michigan. $100 is distributed as $50 site credit on each of sportsbook and casino. Unique user ID verification required. Offer ends on go live day. Gambling problems? Call 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help.
You're hearing the Paul W. Smith Show. News Talk 760 WJR. Here's special guest host, Sean Baligian.
I told you to pay attention. Trans-Siberian Orchestra brings Christmas Eve and other stories directly into your home. This live stream event will take place on December 18th at 8 p.m. online at tsolivestream.com. Be caller 9 at 800-859 0957 to win free access to the show. For more info and to purchase tickets, visit WJR.com. This man did not sleep in the last 48 hours. I'm convinced of it. I don't even need to ask him that. He doesn't sleep. He works. He does a podcast, Rod and Reel, works for the Detroit News, does a great job as an analyst at Wayne State. I've had the privilege of having him as my broadcast partner there. But he doesn't sleep, and I'm sure that's been the case the last 48 hours. He is Rod Beard, of course, from the Detroit News. And first of all, Rod, always a pleasure to talk to you, my friend. Thanks for getting up with us this morning.
Oh, no, I think you're right. I think I've had about as many cups of coffee as I had hours of sleep in the past couple of days.
Hey, you know what? This was an exciting draft to begin with for the Pistons. It was the first one under Troy Weaver. And Rod, listen, I don't know if his plans are going to amount to anything, but I applaud him for doing something different, because I think the one thing that we do know is the way the Pistons had been operating for years wasn't working. I like this approach.
No, absolutely. If you're going to bring in a general manager to remake your roster, why take a long time to do it? He just came in and ripped everything up and tore it down to the studs is what it seems to be the plan is going to be. That we didn't see trades for Derrick Rose or Blake Griffin, but Luke Kennard leaving was kind of a big surprise for Pistons fans. They thought he was going to be a building block for the future, and Troy Weaver flipped him for the 19 pick. It's refreshing to see is that it wasn't, I'm going to take this roster as it was and start to use these pieces. If he doesn't like the pieces, he's going to flip them and get something better that he likes and move forward with it. And it's just good to see.
You know, where do we even start with this? I mean, you know, obviously you talk about the three newest Pistons it just in the first round, but this is a situation, Rod, where there have been so many moves and so many things, and it's almost like playing chess, because now I think a lot of people and certainly the sharp minds like yourself are left going, okay, it's chess. What's the next move going to be?
Yeah, it just came in a flurry, and about an hour before the draft, we got the news about getting the number 16 pick, and it was just sort of, okay, well, this is something. And then after they made their pick, they come with the Luke Kennard trade and a couple other ones too. It's really just, you see what you can do if you're really aggressive and if you saw the Pistons play the past couple of years, you know these players didn't work, and it wasn't just surrounding them with another new one or two players was going to change things. Luke Kennard was Luke Kennard, a nice player, but his injury history was of some concern. And going into the last year of his contract, you were going to have to pay him. Troy Weaver made the decision he didn't want to pay him. Same thing with Bruce Brown. Decided he didn't want to pay him. And so you're going to see young guys come in. They may be absolutely horrific this year, but you can't judge everything just based off of one deal or two deals or one season. You're going to have to look at this 3 years from now and say, what are the pieces that Troy Weaver was able to put together, and where are the Pistons at that point, rather than taking a short-term view of it?
You know, in a way, Rod, I hate to switch sports, but it reminds me a little bit of what Steve Yzerman is doing. Is, okay, I'm planting some seeds now, but you know what? Let's all reconvene in 3 years, and there might be a couple of big seeds that come in the next couple of years as well.
Yeah, I think so. And the Blake Griffin contract is going to be maybe the hardest one to move. But switching sports again, people said the Prince Fielder contract was going to be impossible to move, and they were able to do that. So it's just going to be, give him some time. He's very well connected in the league, and you can see the teams that he's dealing with. This isn't calling up Sacramento or calling up the bad teams in the league and taking their leftovers or switching spots there. He called Houston. He made a deal there. He has worked with the Nets and then the Clippers in getting Luke Kennard to go there. So it's just whatever team is going to take him, whatever assets he can get, and remaking this roster very, very quickly. This might just end up being more of a lost season anyway, because it's only 72 games. There may not be fans in the arenas at all. This might not be a team that you want to go in there to watch, but for the long term, he's already set this team up to be something that you want to keep an eye on long term.
Read him in the Detroit News and certainly follow him on Twitter. He's a great follow at Det News. Rod Beard kindly joining us. Rod, quickly in the remaining time that we have, what do you like about the newest Pistons, the guys that they picked up in the draft yesterday?
I really like Killian Hayes in past couple of mock drafts that I did. He was the guy I thought they might get. And some things changed at 4, 5, and 6. There were some surprise picks, but the Pistons stayed true to their draft board. And Killian Hayes is 6'5". He has a 6'8" wingspan. And at point guard, he can play like a Derrick Rose, where he gets in the paint and he causes some havoc and breaks down defenses. And that's what the Pistons need. Derrick Rose is in the last year of his contract, so you want the heir apparent guy to come in and be able to do similar things. Killian Hayes can do that. Saddiq Bey is a very good three-point shooter in the 40% range. So that might replace some of what Luke Kennard did. But they got tall, lanky guys. A 6'5" point guard is excellent size. Saddiq Bey is 6'8", 6'9". Isaiah Stewart is like in the 6'10" range. So you got tall guys, big guys who can do some different things. And it's just a different look to the roster. It's going to be younger, and you're going to rebuild. Yeah, you're going to lose some, but at the same time, you have a direction that you're going.
Yeah, amen to that. And it's a much-needed direction as well. Make sure you follow this guy on Twitter, as I mentioned, at Det News Rod Beard. Always read him in the Detroit News. Always a pleasure, my friend. You take care of yourself.
Anytime. I appreciate it, Sean. Thank you.
All right, Rod Beard kindly joining us here on 760 WJR. Let's take a look at traffic and weather with Dana Clark.
This report is sponsored by Dell.
We have a special announcement from Dell Technologies. Black Friday is officially here. You can save up to 50% on powerful computers with Intel Core processors that'll take your small business to the next level. Call 877-ASK-DELL or go to Dell.com/SP Black Friday.
One accident out there, not looking bad right now. John R. south of 8 Mile. That collision causing minor delays. Now, WJR weather first from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Guernsey Farms Dairy. Enjoy family and football all day and avoid the stress of cooking on Thanksgiving. Get a full traditional Thanksgiving meal this year from Guernsey Farms Dairy's restaurant in Northville. Place your order for carry out today. Pick up on November 25th. Minimum order is 5 people. It's only $15 a person. To order, visit GuernseyFarmsDairy.com.
While the weather quickly coming back now, up close to 60 by tomorrow afternoon, mid-60s by Friday. Sunshine with a few clouds today, 45. Some clouds tonight, milder, 37. Outlying areas a little chillier. And a south breeze kicks up tomorrow. Clouds, sunshine close to 60 and mid-60s on Friday. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stidjagant, News Talk 760 WJR.
Thanksgiving is Thursday, and this year may be different, but we can still make it an incredibly special day for our families. Our friends at the Capitol Grill have created a very exclusive Thanksgiving Day dinner package for you to enjoy from their home to yours. The Capitol Grill Thanksgiving dinner begins with oven-roasted turkey breasts, brioche stuffing, chef's homemade turkey gravy, French green beans and Marcona almonds, cranberry pear chutney, Sam's mashed potatoes, pecan-crusted sweet potatoes with hot honey, and French seeded rolls with butter. If you prefer to roast your own turkey, the Capitol Grill can customize your experience with all the accompaniments to create the perfect Thanksgiving dinner. Finish your traditional dinner with their house-made pumpkin cheesecake. Your family deserves a Thanksgiving dinner from the Capitol Grill. Prepared for pickup this Tuesday and Wednesday, or curbside and ready to serve on Thanksgiving Day. Call now to pre-order at 248-649-5300 or order online at thecapitolgrill.com.
The easiest way to stay warm and save money is to visit dteenergy.com/saveenergy.
Hey, I can save on my energy bill just by wearing a sweater?
Just turn down your thermostat to 68 or below and dress warmly to save money and still be cozy. Easy, right?
Keep rugs off vents, open blinds when it's sunny? Well, that's easy.
Told you so. At dteenergy.com/save energy, you can learn even more. DTE.
2020 took a different path than we expected, but it definitely didn't slow our pace. Planet M has helped private and public entities work together to advance the future of mobility technology along a challenging course. Working together has been the key to staying on the right path. So whether you're just getting started or already an industry leader, Planet M is your connection to Michigan's mobility ecosystem and our future. If you're ready to make a move with your business, see how we can help at planetm.com/pure-partnership.
WJR and the Chilani Family Foundation have launched Hunger Free in the D, a 3-week matching gift campaign to support the Capuchin Soup Kitchen and Gleaners Community Food Bank. Our goal is to provide 500,000 meals to struggling families during the holidays. And now the Chilani Family Foundation will match up to $200,000.
Now, as we prepare for Thanksgiving, let's help Gleaners and the Capuchin Soup Kitchen make a difference for those less fortunate. This is Dario Bergamo, proud supporter of Hunger Free in the D.
Without business leaders in the community, we really would not be able to continue what we do.
Chilani Family Foundation's Tom Chilani.
The partnership between Capuchins and Gleaners is very strong. They help out a lot of people, and I felt it was good that Vicki and I and our foundation get behind the two of them.
Give now. Go to hungerfreeinthed.com or call 313-254-4788. That's hungerfreeinthed.com or call 313-254-4788.
Upcoming jazz performances at Dirty Dog Jazz Cafe include clarinet virtuoso Dave Bennett, Detroit vocalist Kimmy Horn, and baritone piano great Alvin Waddle. All performances run Wednesdays through Saturdays with reservations recommended based on necessary social distancing. For more details, call 313-882-5299 or visit DirtyDogJazz.com. Dirty Dog Jazz Cafe brings together world-class jazz with outstanding cuisine. Visit DirtyDogJazz.com.
How did we ever come to the belief that we have no control over the inevitability of heart attack or stroke? That it was somehow predestined in our genes, inherited, or inevitable due to some random chance that outsmarted the medical field? We've come to accept these two fallacies, but the fact is that heart attack and stroke are 100% preventable, and cardiac disease is reversible. It's not in the genes, it's in your profile. It's time to take charge of your health. Call Dr. Brian Collender at 866-KOLENDER.
Hi, I'm Connie Holzer. At Tom Holzer Ford, we have an exceptional team that cares about you. We go above and beyond to give you a wonderful experience. So come and see us. 10 Mile and Haggerty and Farmington Hills.
The need has always been there. The need for food, shelter, clothing, compassion. This year it just happens to be greater. If you need help, please reach out. If you can give help, please reach within. In a year with fewer red kettles, your $25 monthly donation to the Salvation Army of Metro Detroit helps rescue Christmas for the most vulnerable. Enlist in Love's Army at sellmish.org. Again, that's sellmish.org.
It's happening. Publishers Clearinghouse is awarding a $2,500,000 mega prize in just days. Enter now at PCH.com, and your family could soon be celebrating the win of a lifetime. Don't miss your last chance to win the $2,500,000 mega prize. Go to PCH.com before it's too late. That's PCH.com. Better hurry. Enter at PCH.com now. Entries due 11/29. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited.
If I'm not commuting anymore, where do I really want to live?
While you handle life's questions, Merrill Guided Investing helps you manage your portfolio and invest for your next move with the option to work with an advisor at a low cost and minimum. Merrill, a Bank of America company. Visit merrilledge.com/investing goals to get started today.
Investing involves risk. Merrill Lynch, Pierce, Fenner & Smith Incorporated, both a registered broker-dealer and investment advisor, member SIPC. Investment products are not FDIC insured or not bank guaranteed and may lose value.
You're hearing The Paul W. Smith Show, News Talk 760, WJR. Here's special guest host, Sean Baligian.
Well, thank you very much for allowing me to sit in here today. Of course, the great Frank Beckman coming up next year on 760 WJR. We are going to talk to the police chief of the great city of Detroit, who's done a fantastic job, not only protecting citizens, but protecting his own officers as well. And as the son of a retired police officer, I greatly appreciate that and him. Before we talk to Chief Craig, I want to give some props to Bob from Jackson. He is going to get an opportunity to see that Trans-Siberian Orchestra live stream event. So congratulations to Bob from Jackson for that. As I mentioned, to close up the show on a Thursday morning, always a pleasure to hear from this gentleman. He is Detroit Police Chief James Craig, kindly joining us this morning. And first of all, Chief Craig, thank you so much for joining us. How are you this morning, sir?
I'm good, Sean. I appreciate being on your show, and I didn't realize until just now that you're the son of a retired Detroit police officer.
He did work in, yes, he worked in Detroit, and he worked in a city, West Bloomfield as well. So yes, indeed.
Okay.
Very, very proud of that. He worked in both police departments. Chief Craig, first and foremost, the story comes out in the Free Press yesterday. The police department is seeing another spike in COVID-19 infections. And listen, I mean, my vantage point is this is something that's going to happen. Your officers are out and about. This is a virus. Who better to get the skinny from than from a guy that actually lived through this? So what's your take on this, sir?
Well, as you indicated, I'm a COVID survivor, and certainly I, along with my entire executive command team, we take it very seriously, and we certainly put in the forefront our men and women who are out serving. We want to make sure they're safe. Yesterday, I put out or completed a videotape message to all the troops, just encouraging them, taking, precautions. Our numbers, as it was pointed out in the Free Press article, has gone up, just like the infection rate across the state. At one point, Sean, we had 650 officers quarantined, or members of the department sworn to civilian. As of yesterday, we have now 82. So a couple of weeks ago was a third of that. And so the thing is, we've demonstrated we know how to, really slow the spread down. And so my message was just a reminder to our folks the kind of steps we need to take to stay safe, particularly as we're going into the holiday season. I'm encouraged. I don't want to see a number like 650. I think we've learned so much on really how to reduce the spread, especially as first responders. And so I see that to be no different. There's some things that have changed. The spike that we're seeing now, as has been pointed out, there are fewer ICU hospitalizations than what was when we talk about during that time in March, April, during the time when I contracted it. Probably was a very different strain, but we're not taking it lightly because, as you know, we are still seeing daily deaths from this horrible disease.
Well, and I think you bring up the interesting point, Chief Craig, that if anybody knows what this does, it's you. And thank the good Lord, you're still here. But certainly, I think you're one that can speak to the masses within your department and say, look, guys, this is nothing to be trifled with. We all have to do our best here.
Absolutely. I had a chance to sit on a panel with two other police chiefs, and the topic was the increased COVID among our men and women who serve, and what each municipality is doing. And certainly when comparing the other agencies, our infection rate was much higher. We're a much larger organization, so that's to be expected. But what kind of things can we do? And I just wanted to encourage, our managers that when we become aware of an ill employee, let's not delay, let's take prompt action, and let's make sure we get them tested. And so that's the protocols that are in place. And so again, I'm encouraged, but certainly when I look at what this department's gone through from the summer, when, spring and summer, going through peaks of COVID infection rates inside the organization, to then 100+ days of daily protests. And then here we are again battling the increases in COVID. It's just phenomenal on how this department performs.
No doubt about that. I'll echo those sentiments, and we'll all keep banging that drum, not only within your department, sir, but certainly in society as well. Chief Craig, really appreciate it. We're running out of time, but wish you all the best in that endeavor, and certainly a great holiday season as well.
And likewise you, Sean.
All right, Chief Craig kindly joining us here on 760 WJR. Mad respect for all officers out there. As I mentioned, I'm a son of a police officer, and I know what those guys go through. So big thumbs up to them today. Hey, heck of a lot of fun. Time flies when you're having fun. I want to thank Dana. I want to thank Dick, Danielle, Mr. Rieger. Great job today as well. To the rest of you, thanks for inviting us into your radio this morning. I hope you have the greatest day ever. Go out and have a great day. But keep it tuned right here to 760 WJR. The great Frank Beckman coming up next. Have yourselves a great morning.
This report is sponsored by Compassion International.
We're all feeling the weight of COVID-19. But for kids in poverty this Christmas, things are desperate. Bring joy to a child when you make your special year-end gift to Compassion International. Just text GIFT to 83393. That's GIFT to 83393.